Have you ever felt stuck between a big dream and the daily grind? Maybe you have a vision for your life that feels exciting but overwhelming when you think about what it takes to get there. The truth is, no matter how big your dreams are, the real progress happens in the small, consistent steps you take every single day. This video will show you how to connect those daily actions to your biggest goals, so you don't just hope for success, you build it. If you want practical advice, real motivation, and a clear plan to turn your dreams into a lasting reality, keep watching. This is about turning your goals into habits, your habits into momentum, and your momentum into a life you can be proud of. Chapter 1. Start building your dream with one clear action today. Most people spend their whole life thinking about what they want to do. They dream about starting a business. They talk about writing a book. They tell others about a goal they've had for years. But nothing happens. Day after day passes. Month after month. Year after year. And the dream stays the same. Distant. Unfinished. Untouched. Not because they don't care. Not because they aren't capable. But because they never take that first step. That first small action. That one move that turns a dream from something in your head to something that's alive in the real world. The truth is simple. Nothing in your life changes until you do something about it. No matter how big your dream is, nothing will ever happen if you don't take the first real step today. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Today. Most people are waiting for the perfect time. Waiting for motivation to hit, waiting until they feel ready. But time doesn't wait for you. Life keeps moving, and if you keep waiting, you'll be stuck in the same place 5 years from now, telling yourself the same story. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to know the final plan. You just need to do one thing today that moves you forward. One phone call, one page written, one workout. 1 hour of learning, one commitment kept. That's how change begins. Not with a grand gesture, not with a perfect plan, but with one clear and intentional action. And here's the thing. This single action will do something powerful inside you. It will shift your mindset from dreaming to doing. It will give you a spark of confidence, a sense of control. It tells your brain, I'm not just thinking anymore, I'm building. And that changes everything. You don't need to look far to prove this. Think about any meaningful achievement in your life. It started with something small, something specific. You sent that message. You filled out that form. You showed up. And even though you were nervous, unsure, and maybe even afraid, you did something. And that something started the process. People often say they have big dreams, but what they really mean is they have big wishes. A dream without action is just a fantasy. You can talk about it, you can imagine it, but if you're not willing to take daily action, it's not a dream you're building. It's a story you're escaping into. Now here's a hard truth. Talking about your dream can sometimes trick you. The more you talk about it, the more it feels like you're doing something about it. But you're not. You're just burning energy in words. And after a while, you start to confuse talking with building. That's dangerous, because nothing you say will matter if your actions never follow through. What matters is execution. Showing up in real life. Doing something real. Something measurable. Something that costs you time or effort. Or discomfort. That's what separates people who grow from people who stay stuck. You don't have to go big. You just have to go now. Action builds clarity. The more you do, the more you learn. The more you try, the more you adjust. You don't need to have the next 10 years mapped out. You just need to win the next 10 minutes. One clear action today could be applying for that course you've been researching. Sending an email to a mentor or client, writing the first paragraph of your book, recording that first video, running for 15 minutes. waking up on time and not hitting snooze. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to prove anything to the world. You just need to prove it to yourself that you have the strength to begin. And once you begin, you keep showing up. Starting doesn't guarantee success, but refusing to start guarantees regret. Most people don't realize how powerful momentum is. It's invisible, but it shapes everything. When you take one action today, your mind shifts from passive to active, from stuck to moving. And once you're in motion, everything becomes easier. Your brain starts to support you. You feel more alert. You notice opportunity. You begin to believe you're someone who takes charge, not someone who waits for permission. But when you delay, the opposite happens. Your energy drops. Your excuses grow. Your beliefs shrink, and you begin to live on repeat. Each day, looking like the last full of things you meant to do, but never did. Discipline isn't built by big wins. It's built by small steps repeated with consistency. You can spend your life stuck in theory, reading more books, watching more videos, listening to more talks. All of that is good, but it can't replace action. Action is the proof. It's the test. It's where real change happens. If you really want to grow, start asking yourself this every morning. What's one action I will take today to build my dream? Not 10, not 5, just one. Simple, clear, real, and then do it. It could take 5 minutes or 50. Doesn't matter. What matters is that it's real, that it's specific, that it creates movement. And as you do this day after day, something amazing happens. You build self-trust. You begin to believe in your own consistency, your own commitment. And that belief is the foundation of every great life. There's no secret path to greatness, no shortcut to purpose. It's one small decision, followed by another. This is how strong people are made. This is how dreams become real. Most people look at successful individuals and think they must have had some big moment that changed everything. And sure, some moments are big, but the real change comes from showing up every single day, when it's boring, when it's hard, when no one claps for you, and when nobody even notices. That's how real confidence is built. Through action, when no one's watching. Through consistency, when no one's keeping score. You don't need more time. You don't need more motivation. You need to act. Today. This chapter isn't about a breakthrough. It's about a beginning. A deliberate, disciplined beginning. Think of one thing right now that you've been putting off. Something that matters to you. Something you've talked about but haven't done. Now stop waiting. Do something today that proves you're serious. Don't underestimate the power of this. That first action might feel small, but it's a signal to your future. A message that says, I'm coming for it. You're not here to stay stuck. You're not here to talk. You're here to build. One action at a time. So today, begin. Begin when it's uncomfortable. Begin when it's uncertain. Begin when you're tired. Begin when no one claps. Begin when no one understands. Begin even if you fail. The only thing worse than failing is staying in the same place your whole life because you were too scared to try. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the choice to move anyway. And that's what you do today. You move. You act. You build. This is the path. This is how you get better every single day. By doing one real thing that brings your dream closer. No more delays. No more excuses. No more waiting. You've got everything you need inside you already. You just need to use it. This is the day you stop being the person who waits and start becoming the person who builds. Your dream is possible, but only if you start. And you start now, with one clear action to.
Chapter 2.
Create a daily routine that builds unshakable discipline. Most people want to be disciplined, but few are willing to live in a way that demands it every single day. They admire those who get up early, stay focused, and do what needs to be done without being told. But they don't always see the truth behind that discipline. It's not talent, not luck, and not something you're born with. It's built, and the way it's built is through a consistent daily routine. Discipline is not something that appears one morning and stays with you forever. It's something you create by doing the same essential things day in and day out, even when you don't feel like it. A routine is more than just a schedule. It's a structure for growth. It's a system for becoming the person you say you want to be. Without a routine, you're at the mercy of your moods. You do things when you feel good, and you avoid them when you don't. But with a routine, your actions are no longer tied to how you feel. They're tied to what you've committed to. That's why the people who make progress year after year aren't the ones who try to do everything. They're the ones who pick a few core actions and build them into their day, like non-negotiable appointments. They wake up and already know what matters. There's no guesswork. There's no waiting for inspiration. Their day is built around what they've already decided is important. If you want to become disciplined, stop relying on willpower. Willpower fades. It's affected by sleep, stress, and distractions. But routines are stable. Routines carry you when you're tired, bored, or overwhelmed. They make success automatic because the structure is already in place. And once something becomes a routine, it no longer drains your energy. It becomes who you are. A strong routine does not mean every hour is planned to perfection. It means the critical parts of your day are protected. That first hour in the morning, that focused work block, that time you invest in your mind or your body. These things don't get skipped because they're a part of your identity now. You don't negotiate with them. You don't delay them. You just do them. Creating a daily routine that builds discipline starts with a brutal look at how you're spending your time. Not how you think you spend it, but how you actually do. Are you scrolling before getting out of bed? Are you starting your day with distraction? Are you reacting to life instead of creating your own rhythm? Change begins by replacing what weakens you with what strengthens you, and that starts by owning your time. A disciplined routine begins the night before. What you do before sleep determines how you start the next day. If you stay up too late, let chaos run your evenings, and wake up groggy, you've already lost momentum before the day begins. But if you end your night with intention, preparing your clothes, reviewing your goals, setting your alarm with purpose, you wake up already one step ahead. Once the morning comes, don't hit snooze. That's not just a delay. It's a message you send to your own mind that comfort matters more than commitment. But you're trying to build discipline. That means you act even when it's not easy. Getting up when the alarm goes off is not just about time. It's about becoming someone who keeps their own word. Then move your body, not because it burns calories, but because it builds mental control. When you push through physical resistance first thing in the morning, you're telling yourself that excuses don't run your life. You do. That confidence carries into everything else you do. Now set time in your day to do focused work, not multitasking. Not checking your phone every 5 minutes. Real work. Set a timer if you have to. Block out noise. Create space for full focus. That's where excellence is built, in deep, undistracted time spent on something that matters. Your dream deserves that level of attention. You also need time every day for your mind. Read, reflect, write. Don't let your thinking grow stale. One of the most dangerous things is going through the motions without challenging your own patterns. When you invest in your thinking, your decisions improve, and better decisions create a better life. Your routine also needs built-in pauses. Discipline isn't about grinding until you burn out. It's about being intentional. Rest is part of that. But make it structured. Set a clear time when you unplug, walk, breathe or reflect. Don't fall into hours of numbing. One intentional pause can recharge you far more than 3 hours of mindless scrolling. Evenings matter just as much. Take time to reflect on how you spent the day. What did you do well? Where did you slip? What will you adjust tomorrow? This simple review helps you catch patterns and refine them. You're not just going through days, you're learning from them. Over time, this daily structure becomes your foundation. You stop needing reminders. You stop relying on bursts of motivation. You simply live in alignment with who you've chosen to be, and that builds a kind of internal strength that most people never develop. They're still chasing motivation while you're stacking wins. And here's the secret: you won't always feel like it. Some days the routine will feel boring. Some mornings your bed will feel more inviting than your goal, but you do it anyway. Not because it feels good, but because it's what you said you would do. That's what separates people who rise from those who drift. A disciplined life is not rigid. It's intentional. You can still have fun. You can still relax. You can still be spontaneous, but those things don't run your life. You do. Because when your day has structure, your life has direction. And when your life has direction, your future becomes something you create, not something you react to. You don't need to copy anyone else's routine. What works for them may not work for you. But you do need to create your own. One that fits your priorities. One that challenges your comfort. One that makes you stronger. Start small. Anchor your day with 3 to 5 habits that move you forward. Keep them simple. Keep them consistent. Keep them non-negotiable. And once you build that base, stack more habits over time. This is how greatness is built. Not in one day of intensity, but in many days of quiet consistency. And here's what's powerful. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Not because the tasks get easier, but because you get stronger. You stop needing to push yourself, because this is just who you are now. You live with intention. You act with purpose. You move with clarity. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters, over and over, until it shapes your life. That's how discipline becomes unshakable. You build it daily. You reinforce it through action. And you protect it by honoring your own word. There are people out there with less talent, fewer resources, and harder circumstances who are still outworking everyone. Not because they have better tools, but because they have better routines. And that can be you. You can design a life where progress is not random, but expected, where goals are not wishes, but outcomes. All because you built your days to reflect your values. Every moment is a chance to choose discipline over distraction, to build structure instead of chaos, and to live in a way that builds you up, not wears you down. The more you do this, the more peace you feel. Not because life is easy, but because you know you're living with clarity and commitment. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. One day at a time. One routine at a time. One life built from discipline. Not by chance, but by choice. Chapter 3. Write your goals down and track them every day. Most people carry their dreams in their heads, not on paper. They talk about what they want, think about it from time to time, and imagine how life could look if everything worked out. But they never write it down. They never define it clearly. They never put it in front of them where they can see it every single day. That's one of the biggest reasons they stay stuck. When your goals are vague, your efforts are scattered. When your goals are clear, your actions become focused. Writing down your goals is not just a productivity hack, it's a way of declaring what matters to you. It's how you make your priorities real. A goal written down becomes a target. Without that target, your energy is random. You can work hard all day and still make no real progress, because you're not aiming at anything specific. But when you write down a goal, you give your mind direction. You tell yourself what you're committed to, and that changes how you move. Tracking your goals daily is how you hold yourself accountable. It's not enough to set a goal once and then forget about it. That's what most people do. They set big goals in January and lose sight of them by February. Real progress happens when you bring that goal into your life every day. You review it, you reflect on it. You ask yourself if today's actions are in alignment with that goal. That simple habit can shift your entire life. Your goals should not be general. They should be detailed. Saying "I want to be successful" means nothing. What does success mean to you? Is it financial independence? Is it building your own business? Is it getting in shape, becoming a better parent, or finally finishing that book you've been thinking about for years? You have to define it so clearly that there is no confusion when you look at it. The clearer the target, the more power you'll have to hit it. Writing your goals down forces clarity. You have to choose. You can't write everything. You have to get honest about what matters most. That means choosing fewer goals with more focus. Not 10 things you kind of care about, but 1 or 2 things you're truly committed to. That clarity frees you. It allows you to say no to distractions and say yes to what will move you forward. Start every morning by looking at your goals. Don't let the world decide how your day goes. Anchor your mind to what you want to build, even if it's just 5 minutes. Reconnecting with your goals in the morning sets your mind on the right path. It reminds you that your life is not just a series of tasks, it's a mission you're living out. Then throughout the day, track your progress. Not in a way that beats you down, but in a way that keeps you awake. Ask yourself, did I take 1 step forward today? Did I do something small that moved me closer to my goal? If the answer is no, then you make a choice not to let the day end without taking at least 1 small action. That's how momentum is built, day by day, step by step, with full honesty. Write your goals in a notebook. Write them on your wall. Type them into your phone. Use whatever method works for you, but keep them visible. Don't let your goals become background noise. They need to stay in front of your eyes until they are etched into your mind. That visibility reminds you who you are becoming. It keeps you centered when the world tries to pull you in every direction. It's not enough to review your goals once in a while. You have to build a daily rhythm around them. That means reviewing them in the morning, reflecting on them in the evening, and adjusting your actions based on the results. That's what serious people do. They don't chase hype. They don't rely on luck. They build results through quiet, consistent tracking. Tracking your goals also helps you face the truth. Sometimes the reason we don't track is because we don't want to see how little we're doing. But avoiding the truth doesn't change it. You need to know where you stand. That's how you grow. That's how you take control. When you write down your progress every day, you develop self-respect. You're not hiding from your life anymore. You're taking charge of it. Even small progress matters. If your goal is to get in shape, and today you did 10 push-ups, write that down. If your goal is to grow a business, and you sent 1 email to a potential customer, write that down. These tiny steps may seem small in the moment, but they add up. You can't see the full transformation day to day, but over months, those tiny entries become visible change. You're literally writing your future into existence. Reviewing your goal at the end of the day is just as important as reviewing it in the morning. That's when you evaluate. That's when you ask yourself the hard questions. Did I stay focused? Did I let distractions take over? Did I use my time the way someone who's serious about their dream would use it? These questions aren't meant to make you feel guilty. They're meant to keep you aware. Because once you lose awareness, you drift. You can also use your daily tracking to learn. Maybe you notice that you're consistently falling short in one area. Don't ignore that. Study it. Figure out what's getting in the way. Is it a time issue? A confidence issue? A focus issue? The more you understand your own patterns, the more power you have to change them. This is how self-mastery is built. Not through guesswork, but through real, honest data about your behavior. People will say they want to change, but few are willing to measure that change. They avoid numbers. They avoid reflection. They live in the illusion of trying, but trying is not enough. You need proof. You need evidence. And the best way to get that is to track what you do every day. When you have that data, you no longer lie to yourself. You know the truth. And with that truth, you can make better decisions. Goals that are tracked daily become habits. They move from being something you do occasionally to something you live. That's the shift that matters. Anyone can set a goal once, but to bring that goal into your routine, to make it a part of how you live, that's where transformation happens. And it starts with writing it down and checking in with it every single day. Eventually this practice becomes second nature. It no longer feels like effort, it feels like alignment. You're living each day on purpose. Your actions match your values. Your time reflects your priority, and that kind of life brings peace. Not because everything is easy, but because you know you're moving in the right direction. This practice won't make you perfect. You'll still have off days. You'll still face resistance. But now you'll catch it. You'll adjust. You'll stay in the game, because you're not drifting anymore. You're tracking. You're awake. You're responsible. There is power in putting your dreams on paper. There is strength in reviewing them daily. There is clarity in tracking your effort. This is not just a productivity habit. It's a way of building a life that reflects who you really are and where you want to go. It's simple. It's powerful. And it works. Write your goals down and track them every day. Not just when you feel inspired, but especially when you don't. That's how change becomes permanent. That's how greatness is built. Chapter 4. Wake up early and take control of your time. Waking up early isn't about being part of some trendy routine or following what successful people claim they do. It's about taking full control of your life before the world starts placing its demands on you. When you get up early, you create time. You carve out space to think, reflect, and act without distractions. You take back ownership of your schedule instead of letting chaos run your day. There's something powerful about rising when it's still dark, when the streets are quiet and the world hasn't started buzzing yet. That stillness gives you room to lead yourself with intention. It's not just about waking up, it's about what you do with that time. Getting up early is an act of discipline. It teaches your mind that you are the one in charge. The moment your alarm rings, you face a decision, take command or delay responsibility. Every time you hit snooze, you train your mind to negotiate with effort. You tell yourself it's okay to wait, okay to delay, okay to give in, and those little decisions compound. The way you start your morning sets the tone for the rest of your day. If the first thing you do is make an excuse, don't be surprised when excuses show up later in the day too. Starting your day early gives you room to move slowly and deliberately. You don't have to rush. You can prepare your mind. You can check in with your priorities. You can do the things that matter before the noise of life gets loud. And that's where the real advantage is, not just in the extra hours, but in the quality of those hours. Early mornings give you space to lead your life instead of just reacting to it. If you wake up late, you start the day behind. You rush, you react, you scramble, your energy is already in defense mode. But when you rise early, you begin in a position of strength. You're not trying to catch up, you're setting the pace. That sense of control fuels confidence. It reminds you that time is a tool, not a trap. And the earlier you wake, the more of that tool you get to use with intention. Waking up early isn't easy in the beginning. Your body resists. Your mind resists. Comfort pulls you back under the covers. But what you're building is not just a morning, it's mental strength. Each morning you rise before you want to, you prove something to yourself, you remind your mind that your mission matters more than your mood. That kind of discipline doesn't stay in the morning. It follows you through everything else. It sharpens your decisions, strengthens your focus, and fuels your effort. Your mornings should not begin with distractions. Avoid picking up your phone. Avoid checking messages, scrolling through feeds, or drowning your focus in other people's noise. That first hour belongs to you. Use it to think clearly. Use it to connect with your goals. Use it to prepare your mind for the work ahead. That's your time to center yourself, to remind yourself what really matters, and to align your actions with your priorities. Start small if you need to. You don't need to wake up 3 hours earlier tomorrow. You can begin with 15 minutes, then stretch it to 30, then to an hour. The goal isn't to wake up early just for the sake of it. The goal is to wake up with purpose, to create time that's yours, to build a routine that supports your growth. And the earlier you rise, the more you protect your energy from being hijacked. In those early hours, read something that sharpens your thinking. Write something that strengthens your clarity. Move your body to wake up your system. Reflect on your goals. Check in with your values. This is not a chore, it's a way of building a foundation before the demands of the world begin to pull at you. Those first steps might feel quiet and simple, but they add up over time. They ground you. They shape you. Time is one of the most precious things you have, and yet most people spend their mornings wasting it without even realizing it. They roll out of bed late. They scroll through nonsense. They rush through their routine. They start their day in chaos. Then they wonder why they feel overwhelmed or behind. The way to fix that is not by trying to cram more into your day. It's by claiming your mornings with purpose. There's a deep kind of peace that comes with being awake before the world. It gives you a chance to hear yourself think, to breathe, to plan, to move slowly. That peace becomes a kind of armor. It helps you handle stress. It helps you stay clear. It helps you respond instead of react. When you give yourself time in the morning, you're not just getting ahead. You're staying grounded. You don't need to be perfect with it. You don't need to wake up early every single day to get value. But the more consistent you are, the more control you'll feel over your life. And the goal is not perfection. It's ownership. To wake up not just because the clock says you have to, but because you've chosen to lead your life with structure. Think about the alternative. Sleeping in feels good for a moment, but it robs you of progress. Those extra minutes in bed cost you clarity, momentum, and purpose. And deep down, you know it. You know when you're wasting time. You know when you're giving in to laziness. The problem is that comfort feels easy, but easy won't get you anywhere meaningful. Comfort never built anything worth having. Waking up early is uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort is a doorway to self-respect. Once you start rising early with consistency, you'll notice something. Your days feel longer, more productive, and more aligned. You'll find yourself handling tasks before most people are even out of bed. You'll find energy you didn't know you had. You'll notice that your mind feels sharper and more alert. And you'll look back at your past routines and wonder why you didn't take control sooner. Don't let your mornings slip away anymore. Don't waste those golden hours sleeping through your future. You've got things to build, habits to strengthen, goals to chase. You can't afford to let the start of your day be ruled by laziness or randomness. Set your alarm, honor it, get up, stand tall, and begin your day on your terms. Your future self will thank you for every early morning you pushed through, for every day you started strong, for every hour you claimed for yourself. Because these mornings are not just a routine. They are part of your identity now. You are someone who shows up, someone who builds with discipline, someone who owns their time and lives with purpose. Wake up early, not because it's easy, but because it makes you stronger. Wake up early, not for the world's approval, but for your own growth. Wake up early, because you've decided that your dreams matter enough to sacrifice comfort. That's how you take control of your time. That's how you take control of your life. Chapter 5. Take full responsibility for every choice you make. Every decision you make shapes your life in ways you can't ignore. The sooner you realize that, the faster you can change. Blaming others for where you are will keep you stuck. Pointing fingers at your past, your parents, your job, or your environment may give you relief for a moment, but it takes away your power. When you blame, you give away control. When you take responsibility, you take it back. You say, I'm the one in charge. I'm the one who can fix it. I'm the one who decides what happens next. That shift is where growth begins. The truth is, every day is full of choices. You choose how you show up. You choose what you tolerate. You choose how you react when things get hard. You choose how you spend your time. You choose your words. You choose your habits. You choose what you focus on. And those choices build your life piece by piece, hour by hour, action by action. If you're not where you want to be, it's time to look in the mirror, not with shame, but with honesty. Taking full responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything that's gone wrong. It means owning your response to what happens. It means accepting that while you can't always control your circumstances, you can always control your decisions. Life isn't always fair, and people aren't always kind. You'll face setbacks, you'll experience loss, you'll get knocked down. But even then, you still have a choice: stay down or rise with more clarity, more strength, and more direction. If you want to grow, you have to stop waiting for someone else to fix your life. Nobody's coming to save you. No one else can make the changes for you. You are responsible for your attitude, your discipline, your focus, your mindset, and your action. That responsibility is not a burden. It's a gift. Because when it's all on you, you realize you don't have to wait for permission to improve. You can begin now. You can take a new path today. Sometimes we avoid responsibility because it's uncomfortable. It's easier to say, I didn't have the time, than to admit we chose distraction. It's easier to say, they didn't support me, than to admit we didn't commit fully. But every time you dodge responsibility, you delay progress. Owning your choices is the fastest way to get clear. It strips away the noise and excuses and gets down to the truth. If you want something better, you have to become better. If you want different results, you need different actions. This level of personal ownership requires courage. It means facing your own pattern. It means asking hard questions like, what am I avoiding? Where am I lying to myself? What habits are keeping me stuck? What choices am I making that don't reflect who I want to be. It means no longer pretending. It means standing up and saying, I did that, I allowed that, but I don't have to keep doing it. That kind of honesty cuts deep, but it's the foundation for transformation. Taking full responsibility also means letting go of the fantasy that one perfect decision will change everything. Change isn't one giant leap, it's 1,000 small choices stacked on top of each other. Choosing to wake up early, choosing to show up to your commitments, choosing to say no to distractions, choosing to put in the effort when it's hard, choosing to stay focused when others drift. Every one of those choices matters, and they're yours to make. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be honest. If you mess up, own it. If you fall short, admit it. If you get off track, take accountability and adjust. The goal is not to avoid mistakes, it's to take full control of your learning and your growth. That's what responsibility really is. Power with direction. It says, no matter what happens, I will rise, I will learn, I will get better. Most people waste years waiting for better circumstances instead of becoming the kind of person who creates better outcomes. They wait for the right moment, the right mood, or the right opportunity. But the moment is now. The responsibility is yours. The only question is what you'll do with it. Will you lead your life, or let it pass you by? You build a better life one decision at a time. Not big, dramatic changes. Small, intentional steps. Choosing to eat what fuels you instead of what numbs you. Choosing to speak with integrity instead of saying what's convenient. Choosing to listen instead of reacting. Choosing to learn instead of complain. Choosing to take action instead of hoping. These choices create a compound effect over time. And if you stay consistent, you'll look back and see how far you've come. All because you decided to take full ownership. If your relationships are suffering, ask yourself how you've shown up. If your health is off track, ask what choices led you here. If your goals are delayed, examine your level of discipline. If you're stressed, look at what you're holding on to or avoiding. Every situation has something you can control. That's where your power lives. Not in waiting for life to change, but in changing the way you live. No one else can feel your pain for you. No one else can fight your battles for you. No one else can do your work. The sooner you stop outsourcing responsibility, the faster you take back control. You are the writer of your story. You decide what happens next. And even if the first chapters weren't ideal, you still hold the pen. You can still shape the ending. The way you think, the way you speak, the way you act, all of it is within your reach. When you choose responsibility, you stop playing small. You stop making excuses. You stop hiding behind doubt. You start showing up. You start making progress. You start walking in alignment with your value. And that feeling, the knowing that you are in charge, is one of the most powerful things you'll ever experience. Responsibility doesn't limit your freedom. It expands it. Because when you own your life, you're no longer a victim. You don't have to wait for permission. You don't have to beg for change. You don't have to wish things were different. You know exactly what to do. And you do it. Even when it's hard. Even when no one's watching. Even when results are slow. Because that's what leaders do. And you're the leader of your life now. You have what it takes to rise. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. Own your decisions. Own your effort. Own your path. Stop blaming. Stop waiting. Stop hiding. Begin now. Stand up and say, I choose to live with responsibility. Say it with conviction. Say it with belief, and then prove it. With action. Day by day, choice by choice. That's how real change begins. That's how your best self is built. Chapter 6. Focus only on what moves your dream forward daily. Most people lose time chasing things that have nothing to do with where they say they want to go. They say they have a dream, but their actions tell a different story. They keep getting pulled into distractions, giving their energy to tasks that feel urgent but aren't important. They say they want to build something meaningful, but they're constantly consumed by what doesn't matter. The only way to make progress is to focus with complete attention on what actually moves you closer to your dream. That means removing what's in the way and doubling down on what counts. Every day, there are 100 things calling for your attention: messages, notifications, opinions, noise, but only a few things truly matter. The difference between those who build something lasting and those who stay stuck is focus. Not talent. Not motivation, focus. The ability to wake up and know exactly what matters, and then protect your time and energy so that you do that one thing with all your heart. To move your dream forward, you first need to know what that dream actually looks like in real terms. Not just a vague hope or a someday wish. You need clarity. What do you want? Why do you want it? What kind of person do you need to become to make it happen? Once that's clear, everything else is about alignment. If a task brings you closer to that dream, it gets your time. If it doesn't, it gets removed. This is not about being busy, it's about being effective. You can be busy all day and still end up nowhere closer to your dream. Real progress doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing what matters consistently. Every day, ask yourself one simple question: what is the one thing I can do today that will make real progress toward my dream? Then do it, without negotiation, without delay, without letting your mind trick you into believing you need more research, more preparation, more waiting. Action is the only path forward. There are moments when the right thing to do is the hard thing. And that's where most people get lost. They choose the comfortable task over the important one. They clean their inbox instead of working on their skill. They scroll instead of planning. They worry instead of working. They waste hours on things that will be forgotten tomorrow, while neglecting the work that could change everything. If it doesn't move your dream forward, it doesn't deserve your attention today. To develop the habit of daily focus, you need structure. Start your day by identifying your top priority. Write it down, commit to it, then block out the time to work on it without distraction. Even if it's only 30 minutes of pure, deep work, that focus time adds up. It moves you forward. The goal is not perfection. The goal is direction. Are you moving closer to the life you want, or are you drifting further away? It's easy to justify distractions. It's easy to say, I'll get to it later. But later turns into weeks, months, and years. If it matters, you do it today. Not when it's convenient. Not when everything is perfectly set up. Today. Progress demands urgency. It demands discipline. It demands that you train your mind to say no to what doesn't matter, even if it's tempting, even if it's easy, even if everyone else is doing it. Some people will not understand your focus. They'll say you're too obsessed, too serious, too intense. That's fine. Your dream is not their responsibility. It's yours. If you try to please everyone, you'll end up achieving nothing. If you water down your standards to make others comfortable, you'll lose the fire that moves you forward. Protect your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. You will face days when focus feels hard, when distractions are loud, when nothing seems urgent but everything feels heavy. Those are the days that count the most. The days when your discipline gets tested. The days when your mind will try to talk you out of your priorities. In those moments, return to your reason. Remind yourself what's at stake. Every dream comes with a price, and that price is consistency. It helps to keep your environment in order. Clear your space, simplify your schedule, minimize the noise. If your environment is full of distractions, your mind will follow. Design your surroundings to make focus easier. Keep your tools close and your temptations far. Set up systems that support your goal, and stay honest with yourself. If something is pulling you away from your dream, be brave enough to cut it out. Progress can be quiet. It can look like long hours with no recognition. It can feel slow, but if you stay focused, it compounds. What you do today shows up in your results months from now. What you build in private shows up in public when the time is right. Don't seek quick wins, seek real ones. Don't chase applause, chase growth. Don't try to look successful. Do the work that actually makes you successful. Focus is not a one-time decision. It's a daily battle. It's saying yes to your dream and no to everything that gets in the way. It's choosing clarity over noise. It's choosing consistency over comfort. It's waking up and reminding yourself that you are building something that matters, even when it's boring, even when no one is watching, even when you're tired, especially then. If you've been drifting, you can get back on track. You don't need to fix everything today. You just need to return to what matters. One task, 1 hour, one clear action that pushes the dream forward. Do that today, then do it again tomorrow. This is how success is built, not through bursts of energy, but through a focused mind that knows exactly where it's going. You are not here to waste time. You are not here to stay stuck in cycles that lead nowhere. You are here to move, to grow. To build your future depends on what you choose to focus on today. Your energy is limited, so treat it like it matters. Your time is short, so use it with purpose. Stay focused on the mission. Keep your dream in front of you, and give your best to what moves you forward, every single day. Chapter 7. Cut out every distraction that weakens your focus now. Most people don't even realize how much of their day is eaten up by distractions until it's too late. They wake up with good intentions, thinking they'll get things done, thinking they'll work on their goals, but by the time the day ends, they've spent more time reacting than creating. It's not always dramatic things that throw you off course. It's often the small, harmless-looking habits that slowly drain your time, your energy, and your focus. If you want to take control of your life, you have to start by cutting out anything that pulls your attention away from what truly matters. Distractions are not just loud noises or notifications. They're anything that pulls you away from what you know you should be doing. They are the conversations that go nowhere, the content that keeps you numb, the habits that take up your best hours but add no value to your growth. And the longer you let them linger, the harder it becomes to break free from their grip. Distractions steal your focus one small bite at a time. You don't notice it until the day slips away. And by the time you look back, you realize you've been busy but made no real progress. It starts with awareness. If you can't see what's stealing your attention, you'll never be able to fix it. Pay close attention to how you spend your hours. What do you do first thing in the morning? Where does your attention go when you're tired or bored? What's the first thing you reach for when you're unsure what to do next? Every choice you make feeds either your future or your frustration. You have to become brutally honest with yourself about what is and isn't serving your mission. You can't expect to stay focused in a messy environment. You can't expect to stay on track with your goals when your phone is always in your hand, your schedule is wide open to interruptions, and you have no plan for your time. Structure supports freedom. When you build systems that limit distractions, you create space to think clearly, work deeply, and act with purpose. That means setting boundaries around your time. That means turning off the noise. That means saying no to things that are easy but meaningless. You don't need more time. You need fewer distractions. Most people have enough hours to work on their goals. They just waste too much of it on things that don't matter. If you want to get serious about your life, you need to get serious about your focus. That means uninstalling what doesn't serve you. That means keeping your phone in another room when you need to do deep work. That means cutting ties with people who always bring drama, chaos, or negativity into your world. If something or someone consistently weakens your focus, it's your responsibility to take control of that. There will always be something competing for your attention. You'll never run out of reasons to delay what matters. You'll always be tempted to check, scroll, click, wander. But your future will not be built by distraction. Your goals will not be achieved while you chase comfort, and the person you are becoming will not emerge unless you make space for discipline and stillness. Your mind needs clarity to create. Your energy needs direction to grow. You cannot do deep, meaningful work when your attention is fractured by things that offer nothing but noise. Every time you choose distraction, you delay your progress. And it's not just the time you lose, it's the momentum. It's the focus you were starting to build. It's the motivation that begins to fade when you keep interrupting your own rhythm. The more you feed distractions, the harder it becomes to focus. But the opposite is also true. The more you remove what pulls you away, the stronger your focus becomes. It's a muscle. And just like your body gets stronger through resistance, your mind gets sharper when you learn to say no. Don't expect it to be easy. Distractions are addictive. They feel good in the moment. They offer escape, not growth. That's why so many people stay stuck. They never sit with boredom long enough to find clarity. They never get uncomfortable enough to grow past the pull of convenience. But if you want more from life, you have to fight for your attention. You have to protect your time like it matters, because it does. Start by identifying your biggest distractions. Write them down. Be specific. Then make a plan to remove or reduce them. If your phone is a problem, set strict limits. If social media is a trap, delete the apps. If your environment is chaotic, clean it up. If certain people drain your energy, limit your time with them. Don't just hope things will get better. Build the discipline to take control. Change doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you're willing to do what most won't. Create windows of uninterrupted time every day. Start small if you need to. 30 minutes of deep focus is better than none. Build from there. Let that time become sacred. No notifications, no checking, no distractions, just you and your most important work. The more often you practice that, the more your brain will learn how to focus. And when you can focus, you can do anything. You'll finish projects, you'll improve your skills, you'll make real progress that adds up day after day. Most people won't do this. They'll continue to live in a state of constant interruption. They'll say they're busy, they'll blame their environment, but deep down, they'll know the truth. They chose distraction over growth. You don't have to live like that. You can choose differently. You can build a life where your time is respected, your mind is clear, and your actions actually move you forward. This is not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. There will be slip-ups. There will be moments when the old habits sneak back in, but don't let one bad day become a pattern. Catch it early. Refocus. Get back to what matters. The faster you return to focus, the more powerful your discipline becomes. Over time, distractions lose their power when you stop giving them your energy. The world is noisy, but your dream needs silence. Your future needs space to breathe. And your best self is only possible when you're fully present with your work, your habits, and your mission. There is no shortcut. There is only the choice to focus. Cut out the noise, shut down the distraction, and give your energy to the life you know you were meant to build. Every day you choose focus, you get stronger. Every day you resist distraction, you move closer. That's how real transformation begins. Not in bursts of motivation, but in the quiet, repeated choice to protect what matters most. Chapter 8. Build habits that align with your long-term vision. Every day you make choices that shape the person you're becoming. Whether you realize it or not, your habits are either building the future you want or pulling you away from it. If your vision is to live a strong, meaningful, and successful life, then you must begin by creating small, consistent behaviors that match that vision. You can't expect long-term results from short-term effort. You can't expect lasting change without building the kind of habits that make that change automatic. The actions you repeat day after day become your identity, and your identity shapes your destiny. When you think about the life you want 10 years from now, you have to ask yourself if the way you're living today is moving you closer to it. This is not about making massive, dramatic shifts all at once. It's about aligning your daily behavior with where you want to be. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your habits. And if your habits don't support your goals will fade. That's why alignment matters. That's why discipline matters. Because without alignment, even your best intentions fall apart when pressure shows up. You need to begin by getting clear on your long-term vision. What kind of life do you want? What values matter most to you? What kind of person do you want to be known as? Clarity gives direction, and once you know where you're going, you can reverse engineer the kind of habits that support that path. If you want to be mentally strong, then you need daily habits that challenge your mind. If you want financial freedom, then you need spending and saving habits that reflect that intention. If you want deep relationships, then you need to build habits that nurture trust and communication. You can't just wish for these things. You must live in a way that earns them, and it starts with what you do repeatedly. People overcomplicate habits. They chase what's trendy. They jump from one system to the next. But building habits that truly stick comes down to simplicity and consistency. If it's too complicated, it won't last. If it doesn't feel natural, you'll abandon it when life gets stressful. Start with one simple behavior that aligns with your bigger goal and commit to it daily. Don't worry about intensity at the beginning. Focus on consistency. 1-page read every day turns into a book finished every month. 10 minutes of exercise each morning turns into strength that carries through your week. A few minutes of quiet reflection before bed turns into deep self-awareness that transforms how you live. The point is not to impress others. The point is to stay on the path. Most people know what they should do. The problem isn't lack of information, it's lack of discipline and lack of alignment. You can't say you want peace and then live in chaos. You can't say you want growth and then avoid challenge. Every habit you keep should reflect the future you want. That means being brutally honest about the habits you currently have. Are they helping you or holding you back? Are they strengthening your discipline or weakening your drive? If the answer makes you uncomfortable, that's good. Discomfort is the first sign of change. Building aligned habits also requires you to stop chasing perfection. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. There will be days when you're tired, there will be moments when you slip. But one bad day doesn't erase your progress. What matters most is how quickly you get back on track. Winners are not perfect. Winners are consistent. They don't let one failure stop their momentum. They recommit every day to the habits that support their mission. You must also protect your habits from the world around you. There will always be distractions. There will always be people who don't understand your discipline. But your habits are not built for them. They're built for the future version of you. You're not building habits for comfort. You're building them for freedom. Freedom to live on your terms. Freedom to grow into the person you were meant to be. And that freedom comes from doing the work when nobody's watching. Your habits are your silent vote for the kind of life you want to live. Every time you follow through on a small action, you're casting a vote for your future. One workout, one deep conversation, 1 hour of focused work, one healthy meal. These small decisions add up. They compound over time, and the beauty of this process is that it's always in your hands. No one can take your habits from you. No one can force you to skip the work. Your habits are yours to shape, and in a world full of noise, that's a powerful thing to hold on to. You don't need motivation to build strong habits. You need structure. You need discipline. And you need to care more about your future than your comfort. Make your habits non-negotiable. Put them on your calendar. Track them if you need to. Celebrate small wins. Adjust when life gets chaotic. But don't ever forget why you started. Your habits are not just tasks. They're proof that you believe in your vision. Over time, the right habits create momentum. And when momentum shows up, everything gets easier. You no longer have to force yourself to do the right thing. It becomes who you are. That's the magic of aligned habits. They don't just change your results. They change your identity. You stop being someone who wants change and become someone who lives it. You stop making promises and start proving them with action. You must also learn to be patient. The best things in life are built slowly. You won't see massive results in a week. But if you stay consistent for months and years, you'll wake up one day and barely recognize the person you used to be. That transformation happens not because of one big moment, but because of thousands of small aligned actions that stacked up quietly over time. If you want to live a life of meaning, you need habits that reflect that purpose. If you want to lead others, you need habits that show discipline. If you want to feel proud of who you are, you need habits that earn that pride. It all comes back to how you live your days, because how you live your days is how you live your life. There is nothing out of reach when your habits align with your vision. But if you let yourself drift, if you let laziness or fear make your choices, then your future becomes unclear. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start. Don't wait for more time or motivation. Start today. Start with one habit that reflects who you want to become. Commit to it, protect it, and build from there. Over time, that one habit becomes a foundation. And from that foundation, you can build anything. Chapter 9. Surround yourself with people who push you forward. The people you spend the most time with shape your thoughts, your habits, and ultimately, the trajectory of your life. The energy, beliefs, and standards of your circle either lift you higher or pull you down. If you want to grow, you must surround yourself with those who inspire progress, demand accountability, and push you beyond your comfort zone. Growth does not happen in isolation. It thrives in community that challenges you and expects more from you. Choosing the right people is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. Being around individuals who settle for less will slowly lower your standards without you noticing. It's easy to fall into patterns when those around you are not striving for improvement. On the other hand, when you connect with people who are relentless in their pursuit of excellence, their mindset becomes contagious. You absorb their focus, their discipline, and their resilience. This influence is silent but profound. Your environment either fosters your success or feeds your excuses. When you decide to surround yourself with people who push you forward, you are making a commitment to growth. This means seeking out relationships that challenge you to be better. These people won't simply cheer you on from the sidelines. They will hold you accountable when you slack off. They will call out your excuses and remind you of your potential when you forget it yourself. This kind of company is rare and valuable. It forces you to face your weaknesses, but it also celebrates your progress in a way that builds confidence and momentum. Finding this kind of support requires intentionality. It's not enough to hope these people will appear naturally. You must be proactive. Join groups or communities where growth is prioritized. Connect with mentors who have achieved what you want. Engage with peers who share your goals and values. These relationships need to be nurtured with trust and openness. Growth happens fastest when there is honest communication and mutual encouragement. Sometimes the people who push you forward will challenge your current worldview. They may ask hard questions or push you to rethink your habits. While this can be uncomfortable, it is necessary for real change. If everyone around you agrees with your excuses or makes you feel safe in complacency, you will never stretch beyond your limits. Real progress often requires discomfort because it forces you to reconsider and improve. The right circle will give you tough love, not out of judgment, but out of belief in your potential. There will be times when you have to distance yourself from people who drain your energy or undermine your goals. This is not about cutting off everyone who disagrees with you. It's about protecting your growth. Toxic influences can sabotage your progress by encouraging doubt, fear, or distraction. Sometimes these negative forces come from close relationships, and it takes courage to set boundaries. Choosing who you allow to influence your mindset is a form of self-respect and self-care. Surrounding yourself with people who push you forward also means becoming that person for others. Growth is contagious. When you raise your standards, you naturally attract others who are doing the same. Leading by example creates a powerful cycle of encouragement and accountability. Offering honest feedback and support to those around you strengthens your own discipline. When you help others rise, you rise with them. Keep in mind that the people who push you forward do not have to be perfect. They are on their own journey of improvement, just like you. What matters is the intention and the effort they bring to growth. Look for those who are committed to progress, who embrace challenges, and who inspire resilience. These are the people who will challenge your limits, celebrate your wins, and help you stay consistent when motivation wanes. Building a strong circle of growth-focused people requires time and patience. Relationships are not built overnight. It takes consistent effort to find the right fit, cultivate trust, and create an environment where honest conversations can happen. This is an investment that pays off exponentially. As your circle grows stronger, you will find yourself more motivated, more disciplined, and more equipped to face obstacles. Sometimes the influence of a single person can change the course of your life. That mentor who pushes you beyond what you thought possible, that friend who holds you accountable, or that colleague who inspires you to work harder, all play a vital role. Never underestimate the power of your environment. Small shifts in who you spend time with can have monumental effects on your mindset and results. Being mindful about your company also means being aware of how you contribute to your circle. Surrounding yourself with positive influences means you must bring value, encouragement, and integrity to those relationships. Growth is a two-way street. Support and accountability are most effective when they flow both ways. When you commit to helping others grow, you strengthen your own foundation and create a community that thrives together. When life gets tough, the people who push you forward will be your anchor. They remind you of your purpose when doubts creep in. They offer perspectives that break through your mental barriers. They show up when you feel like giving up. That kind of support builds resilience. It makes the hard days easier and the journey more meaningful. You don't have to walk the path alone when you have the right people beside you. It's important to regularly evaluate your circle. People change, and so do your goals. What served you well in the past may no longer align with your current vision. Make it a habit to reflect on your relationships and how they impact your progress. Ask yourself if your interactions inspire action, growth, and accountability. If the answer is no, it's time to reconsider your priorities. Don't let comfort keep you stagnant. In your pursuit of growth, be open to new connections. Sometimes the people who push you forward come from unexpected places or backgrounds. Don't limit yourself to a familiar crowd. Seek diversity in thought and experience, because it broadens your perspective and challenges your assumptions. Growth flourishes in an environment where new ideas and honest feedback are welcomed. Building a community of growth-minded individuals also means creating shared goals and challenges. When you and your circle have common targets, it's easier to hold each other accountable. Group challenges, regular check-ins, and shared learning create a culture of continuous improvement. This shared commitment builds momentum and makes progress feel less lonely. Your social environment influences your mindset more than you realize. Positive relationships create positive habits, reinforce discipline, and strengthen your resolve. When you spend time with people who embody the values and work ethic you aspire to, you begin to adopt those qualities. Your habits, beliefs, and confidence expand as a natural result. Growth becomes not just a goal but a lifestyle. The decision to surround yourself with people who push you forward is a decision to take ownership of your growth. It's a step toward living deliberately and intentionally. You control who influences your thinking, your motivation, and your action. This control is a powerful tool for self-mastery. When you harness it, you build an environment where your best self can thrive. Every relationship in your life should add value to your journey. This doesn't mean perfection or constant positivity, but a shared commitment to pushing forward, embracing challenge, and growing stronger. When you cultivate that kind of circle, you give yourself the greatest gift possible. A tribe that believes in your potential and refuses to let you set. Growth is rarely a solo journey. It's a collaboration of minds, hearts, and efforts. The people who push you forward are the catalysts for change. They provide the accountability, encouragement, and challenge that fuels your progress. Choosing to be intentional about your circle means you are serious about your future. You are declaring that your dreams deserve the highest standards, and you will not settle for less. This commitment shapes everything: your mindset, your habits, your results. Surround yourself with those who see your greatness and demand you live up to it. Build relationships that challenge you to grow. Protect your energy from those who pull you away from your vision. And remember, the company you keep is the foundation of the person you become. When your circle pushes you forward, your dreams become inevitable. Chapter 10. Celebrate small wins daily to build lasting momentum. Progress often feels like a distant goal, something far off on the horizon that requires massive effort or some breakthrough moment. But the truth is, lasting success is rarely the result of giant leaps. Instead, it's the small victories, those daily wins that accumulate over time, that create unstoppable momentum. Learning to recognize and celebrate these small achievements is crucial. When you do, you build confidence, reinforce positive habits, and create a cycle of motivation that propels you forward, even when the path feels tough or uncertain. Every meaningful goal is made up of countless small steps. These steps may seem insignificant alone, but together they are the building blocks of transformation. When you ignore the little wins, you rob yourself of the energy and encouragement that fuel perseverance. The human mind craves positive reinforcement. Acknowledging small successes triggers a sense of accomplishment, which motivates you to keep pushing. This cycle is essential because momentum in any pursuit doesn't come from motivation alone. It comes from consistent action, rewarded with recognition. Celebrating small wins daily means shifting your focus from what hasn't been done yet to what you have already accomplished. It's a practice of gratitude and awareness that brings you into the present moment. When you pause to appreciate even minor progress, you counteract the negativity bias, the natural tendency to focus on setbacks and shortcomings. This shift changes your mindset from frustration or overwhelm to empowerment and optimism. That new mindset becomes the foundation for continued effort. Creating this habit requires conscious effort. It begins with identifying what counts as a win. Wins are not limited to big milestones or visible results. Completing a difficult task, sticking to a new routine for a day, saying no to a distraction, or making a healthier choice are all valid wins. They matter because they show you are moving in the right direction. Writing down these small successes solidifies their importance. It turns abstract effort into tangible proof of progress. The power of small wins lies in their ability to build confidence. Every success, no matter how modest, proves your capability and strengthens your belief in yourself. Confidence isn't some mysterious trait gifted to a few. It's a muscle you build through repeated success. When you recognize small victories, you feed this muscle, making it easier to face challenges and take risks. This growing confidence acts as a shield against doubt and fear, allowing you to maintain momentum even when results seem slow. Celebration itself doesn't have to be extravagant. It can be a simple moment of acknowledgement, a note to yourself, or sharing your progress with someone who supports your journey. The key is that the celebration feels genuine and reinforces the value of your effort. This positive reinforcement signals to your brain that growth and discipline are rewarding. Over time, these signals create lasting changes in behavior and mindset. Recognizing small wins also helps in managing the inevitable plateaus and setbacks that come with any long-term pursuit. When progress stalls, it's easy to become discouraged. But when you keep track of daily wins, you remind yourself of the progress you've already made. This perspective prevents frustration from turning into quitting. Instead, it inspires patience and persistence, knowing that consistent effort produces results in due time. In addition, celebrating small wins cultivates resilience. It trains your mind to focus on what you can control, your daily actions, rather than external outcome. This focus reduces anxiety and increases your ability to cope with uncertainty. Each win becomes a stepping stone that strengthens your capacity to recover from setbacks. Resilience, like confidence, is developed through repeated practice, and celebrating daily victories is one of the simplest ways to do this. This approach aligns with the principle that success is a process, not an event. Big achievements are the sum of many small, disciplined actions carried out consistently. When you celebrate small wins, you reinforce this process-oriented mindset. You learn to value effort over instant results, persistence over perfection. This shift is fundamental to long-term success because it keeps you engaged with the journey instead of fixating on distant goals that may feel overwhelming. Another benefit of focusing on small wins is that it makes your goals feel more attainable. Large goals can intimidate and cause procrastination, but when you break your goals down into manageable pieces and celebrate each completion, you reduce fear and resistance. Progress feels tangible and satisfying, encouraging you to keep moving. This steady progress builds a sense of mastery, which is deeply motivating and empowering. It's important to recognize that small wins are personal and unique to your journey. Comparing your progress to others or societal expectations undermines the value of your own victory. What matters is consistent improvement relative to your starting point. When you honor your wins on your terms, you develop a healthy self-respect and realistic standards that support growth rather than self-criticism. Developing a daily habit of celebrating small wins also encourages mindfulness. It requires paying attention to your actions and their impact rather than rushing through tasks. This mindfulness deepens your connection to your purpose and values. It creates a meaningful rhythm where effort and reflection coexist. Over time, this rhythm becomes a source of motivation and clarity, helping you navigate distractions and doubts with steadiness. One practical way to integrate this practice is by keeping a success journal. Every day, write down 3 small wins you achieve. These could be actions taken, moments of discipline, or positive mindset shifts. Reviewing this journal regularly reinforces your progress and provides motivation during challenging times. It also makes your growth visible and undeniable, counteracting negative thoughts and self-doubt. Sharing your small wins with others can amplify their impact. When you celebrate with supportive friends, mentors, or communities, you invite encouragement and accountability. This social reinforcement strengthens your commitment and adds an extra layer of motivation. Being part of a community that values progress fosters a collective momentum where everyone benefits from each other's victories. Incorporating celebration into your routine shifts your relationship with effort and success. Instead of seeing hard work as a burden, it becomes a source of pride and joy. This positive association encourages consistent action and reduces burnout. The more you celebrate, the more you condition yourself to pursue growth with enthusiasm rather than obligation. Ultimately, embracing small wins daily cultivates a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. You focus on what you have achieved rather than what is missing. This abundance mindset creates inner peace and fuels motivation. It reminds you that every day holds opportunities for progress and improvement, no matter how small. This perspective keeps you grounded and optimistic, essential qualities for enduring success. Building lasting momentum through daily celebration transforms the way you approach growth. It makes progress visible, achievable, and rewarding. This approach creates a powerful feedback loop that energizes your efforts and strengthens your resolve. When small wins become a habit, success becomes inevitable because your daily actions consistently build toward your dream. This commitment to recognizing and celebrating your progress, no matter how small, is a cornerstone of self-mastery. It teaches patience, cultivates resilience, and reinforces discipline. It breaks down overwhelming goals into manageable steps and makes the journey fulfilling. Every small victory is a testament to your dedication and a promise of greater accomplishments ahead. The habit of celebrating small wins is more than just encouragement. It is a strategic tool that turns effort into lasting change. It invites you to live with intention, gratitude, and self-awareness. By honoring each step forward, you create a life where momentum builds naturally. And success is not a distant dream, but a daily reality. This mindset makes it possible to weather challenges, maintain focus, and enjoy the process of becoming your best self. With every small win acknowledged and celebrated, you are writing a story of progress and resilience. You are training your mind and heart to value growth over perfection, action over hesitation. This daily practice becomes the foundation upon which all your larger successes rest. It is the quiet force that turns consistent effort into extraordinary results, and it is available to anyone willing to embrace it.
Chapter 11. Speak only words that match your highest standards. The words you choose to speak shape not only how others see you, but how you see yourself. When you commit to speaking only words that reflect your highest standards, you create a powerful foundation for integrity, self-respect, and influence. Every phrase, sentence, and conversation becomes an opportunity to reinforce your values and your vision for who you want to be. This is not about perfection or formality, but about aligning your speech with your deepest principles and aspirations. Speaking with high standards means being intentional about what you say. It requires awareness and control over your language, avoiding careless or negative expressions that undermine your credibility or your confidence. Words have the power to build or destroy, to inspire or discourage. When you take responsibility for your speech, you invite respect from others and strengthen your internal compass. Your words become consistent with your goals and character. Choosing your words carefully also means avoiding gossip, complaints, or empty promises. These often slip out unconsciously, yet they erode trust and focus. Instead, focus on language that encourages, uplifts, and clarifies. This doesn't mean you must speak only in praise or always be positive to an unrealistic degree. Honest communication is vital, but honesty delivered with respect and purpose maintains your dignity and the dignity of those around you. The discipline to speak with integrity builds over time through practice. It begins with listening, paying attention to your natural speech patterns, and noticing where your words fall short of your standards. This awareness allows you to catch yourself before speaking and choose expressions that better reflect your value. Over time, this habit transforms your communication into a source of strength rather than weakness. Speaking words that match your highest standards also means committing to truthfulness. This is not about bluntness or harshness, but about avoiding deception, exaggeration, or half-truths. When your words consistently match reality, you build a reputation for reliability and authenticity. People will come to trust your voice because it carries honesty and clarity. Trust is the currency of influence, and it begins with the simple act of speaking truthfully. The impact of high-standard speech extends beyond individual conversations. It influences how you think and feel about yourself. Words shape beliefs, and beliefs guide behavior. When you speak with respect for yourself, you reinforce your self-worth. This self-respect affects your decisions, your confidence, and your resilience. By aligning your speech with your ideals, you cultivate a mindset that refuses to settle for less than you deserve. Another dimension to consider is the power of affirmations and positive language. Speaking words of encouragement to yourself and others builds a constructive environment. Affirmations are not empty cliches. When they are honest and grounded in your goals, they become a tool for rewiring your mindset. Saying, "I am capable, I am growing," or "I can handle this," reinforces inner strength. When spoken consistently, such words influence your subconscious mind, steering your actions towards success. This practice also guards you against the pitfalls of self-doubt and negativity. Words like "I can't," "I'm not good enough," or "it's too hard" undermine motivation and create mental barriers. Catching these phrases and replacing them with language that supports your ambitions transforms obstacles into challenges you can overcome. This shift requires effort, but pays off by freeing your mind from limiting beliefs embedded in careless speech. Moreover, speaking with high standards influences your relationships profoundly. People are drawn to those who communicate with clarity, respect, and confidence. Your words set the tone for interactions and shape the atmosphere around you. When you avoid harsh criticism or careless remarks, you create space for constructive dialogue and mutual respect. This fosters collaboration, trust, and deeper connections that support your personal and professional growth. The ripple effect of your words also extends to your environment. By speaking thoughtfully, you contribute to a culture of accountability and positivity. Others notice when you uphold high communication standards and may be inspired to raise their own. This influence, subtle yet powerful, can transform teams, communities, and networks. Speaking with integrity is a form of leadership that begins with your personal commitment. It is important to recognize that this commitment requires courage. Sometimes speaking with high standards means addressing difficult truths or setting boundaries,
It may require you to decline negative conversations or redirect discussions toward more meaningful topics. This courage to speak with purpose often earns respect even from those who may initially resist your stance. Standing firm in your communication builds your character and inspires others to do the same. Maintaining this standard also involves humility, recognizing when you are wrong or when your words have caused harm and having the grace to apologize and correct course shows strength and authenticity. It reinforces that your high standards are rooted not in arrogance, but in a sincere desire to grow and contribute positive. This balance of confidence and humility deepens your credibility. To sustain this practice, consider pausing before speaking, especially in moments of emotion. Impulsive words can betray your values and damage relations. A brief moment to reflect allows you to choose expressions that align with your standards. This pause becomes a powerful tool in maintaining consistency and integrity in your communication. Another practical strategy is to expand your vocabulary with words that inspire and empower. The more precise and positive your language, the easier it becomes to express your intentions clearly. This clarity prevents misunderstandings and strengthens your influence. Learning new ways to articulate your thoughts also enriches your inner dialogue, supporting a mindset aligned with excellence. In addition, recording your progress by journaling your communication successes and challenges helps you stay accountable. Reflecting on conversations where you upheld your standards or fell short provides valuable insight. This reflection fosters growth and encourages continuous improvement in how you use words to build your life and relationships. Your speech is a reflection of your inner world. When you elevate your words, you elevate yourself. This alignment creates harmony between thought, feeling, and action, making your path smoother and your goals more attainable. Your words become tools for creating the reality you desire, building bridges rather than walls. In moments of doubt or frustration, reminding yourself of this commitment can serve as a grounding force. It reconnects you with your purpose and reminds you that every word spoken is an opportunity to honor your highest self. This awareness brings peace and focus, preventing distractions from derailing your progress. Choosing to speak only words that match your highest standards is not a superficial exercise, but a transformative way of living. It demands vigilance, patience, and intention, yet the rewards are profound. Greater self-respect, stronger relationships, clearer goals, and an empowered mindset. This commitment is a cornerstone of personal mastery. It turns communication from a simple act into a deliberate practice that shapes your identity and your destiny. As your words become consistent with your values, you build a foundation for success that is unshakable and inspiring. Ultimately, the words you speak are seeds planted in your life's garden. Choosing them with care ensures that what grows is strong, beautiful, and fruitful. By honoring your highest standards in speech, you craft a life filled with integrity, purpose, and lasting achievement. This journey begins with a single decision: to let your words reflect the very best of who you are.
Chapter 12. Take bold action, even when fear tries to stop you. Fear is a powerful emotion. It can freeze you, make you second-guess every decision, and convince you to stay within the comfort zone where things feel safe but stagnant. Yet, the path to success, growth, and fulfillment is rarely comfortable. It demands that you move forward despite the trembling in your heart and the doubts swirling in your mind. Taking bold action when fear tries to stop you is what separates those who achieve from those who only dream. When fear rises, it tries to whisper reasons to hold back. It warns you of risks, failure, judgment, and uncertainty. These warnings often feel loud and convincing, yet they are just one voice, the voice of caution, not the voice of potential. Recognizing fear for what it is, a natural human response rather than an absolute truth, gives you the power to act anyway. Bold action does not mean recklessness.
It means choosing courage over comfort, clarity over confusion, and progress over paralysis. It means stepping into the unknown with a firm belief that whatever happens, you will learn, adapt, and grow stronger. Fear will never disappear completely, but you learn to acknowledge it, respect it, and refuse to let it control your decisions. The moment you decide to act despite fear is a turning point. It is where your story shifts from waiting to becoming. Every time you push through fear, you build resilience, proving to yourself that fear is not the master of your destiny. You gain confidence not because the world suddenly becomes easier, but because you know you can handle whatever comes. Bold action requires a mindset that values effort and progress over perfection. Waiting for the perfect moment or perfect conditions is often just fear disguising itself as prudence. If you wait for everything to be ideal, you might wait forever. The real world is messy, unpredictable, and full of challenge. Bold people accept this reality and take steps anyway, understanding that progress is better than hesitation. Taking action when afraid also involves breaking down big goals into manageable steps. Fear often overwhelms because it magnifies the unknown and the scale of what must be done. By focusing on the next small action, you make the process less intimidating. Each small step forward is a victory over fear and a building block for bigger breakthroughs. It's important to remember that fear can be an indicator of what matters most to you. If something scares you, it likely means it holds significance in your life. That fear signals you are about to grow beyond old limits and that your comfort zone is expanding. Rather than avoiding fear, leaning into it is how you evolve. One way to build courage is to practice deliberate exposure to discomfort. This means putting yourself in challenging situations regularly, not to overwhelm yourself, but to build familiarity and confidence. Each experience of facing fear and taking action reduces its grip. Over time, what once felt paralyzing becomes manageable. Bold action also means owning your failures when they happen. Fear can keep you stuck by making failure seem like the end. But every failure is a lesson, a chance to refine your approach and grow stronger. Bold people do not avoid mistakes. They accept them as part of the journey. This acceptance frees you from the fear of failure and motivates you to keep moving. Surrounding yourself with supportive people who encourage your boldness can make a huge difference. When fear tempts you to retreat, having others who remind you of your strength and potential can reignite your courage. Seek out those who celebrate your efforts and push you to keep striving even when it's hard. Taking bold action also demands clarity about your why. When fear threatens to stop you, remembering the deeper reason behind your goals fuels persistence. Whether it's creating a better life for yourself, helping others, or fulfilling a personal mission, your purpose becomes the anchor that holds you steady amid doubt. Sometimes, fear speaks loudly through your body, tight chest, racing heart, or uneasy stomach. Rather than ignoring these signals, acknowledge them and use techniques to calm your mind and body. Deep breathing, visualization, or grounding exercises help reduce anxiety and prepare you to act with more control and focus. It's normal to feel uncertain or anxious before a bold step, but don't let these feelings define your actions. Action often precedes confidence. You might not feel ready or brave before you start, but courage grows as you move forward. This momentum fuels further action and diminishes fear's influence. The stories you tell yourself also shape your ability to take bold action. If your internal dialogue says, "I can't do this," "I'm not ready," or "I'm going to fail," fear gains strength. Instead, reframe these thoughts with empowering beliefs. "I'm learning, I'm capable, and I will find a way." Language changes perception, and perception guides behavior. Bold action requires embracing uncertainty. No one can predict the outcome of every decision. Fear thrives on needing control and certainty. Accepting that uncertainty is part of life releases you from the trap of overthinking and hesitation. It invites you to experiment, try new things, and grow from whatever results come your way. Another way to build boldness is to visualize success vividly. Imagine yourself acting confidently, overcoming obstacles, and achieving your goals. Visualization primes your brain to expect positive results and strengthens your resolve to act when fear threatens. This mental rehearsal prepares you emotionally and mentally for the challenges ahead. You may face setbacks or criticism when you choose boldness. Fear sometimes manifests as worry about what others will think, but bold people understand that criticism is often a reflection of others' perspectives, not a verdict on your work. Staying focused on your path and values shields you from discouragement. Taking bold action reshapes your identity. Every time you choose courage, you become someone who acts despite fear. This repeated behavior rewires your habits and beliefs. You start to see yourself as capable and fearless, and this self-image empowers future actions. Remember that boldness is not a trait reserved for a few. It's a skill anyone can develop through practice and commitment. The willingness to face fear and act anyway is a muscle that grows stronger with use. The more you stretch beyond your comfort zone, the more capable you become. When fear tries to stop you, remind yourself that growth lies on the other side of discomfort. What feels scary today can become the foundation for tomorrow's success. Taking bold action is not about eliminating fear, but about mastering it and refusing to let it dictate your life. Life rewards those who move forward, who dare to take risks in pursuit of their dreams. Bold action opens doors, creates opportunities, and builds momentum. It changes circumstances and transforms potential into reality. Every bold step you take adds fuel to your journey, making the next step easier and more natural. Ultimately, the choice is yours every day. Allow fear to freeze you, or let courage propel you. The path of bold action may be challenging, but it is the road to freedom, achievement, and personal power. Choose to move forward even when fear tries to stop you, and watch how your life begins to change in remarkable ways.
Chapter 13. Track your progress to face the truth with courage. Tracking your progress is one of the most honest and powerful tools you have on the journey toward your goals. It strips away excuses, illusions, and wishful thinking by confronting you with reality, clear, unfiltered truth. When you face that truth with courage, you gain the ability to make real, lasting changes. You move beyond hope and intention and step firmly into the realm of action and growth. It's easy to deceive yourself if you don't check in regularly on what you've done and how far you've come. Without a system to track progress, days blur into each other and you risk drifting aimlessly or repeating the same mistakes. But when you track your actions, habits, and results consistently, you begin to see patterns emerge. You recognize what works, what doesn't, and what needs adjustment. This knowledge is invaluable because it guides your decisions and fuels your momentum. The act of tracking also holds you accountable. Knowing that you will record your efforts creates a natural pressure to stay consistent. This pressure isn't a burden but a necessary structure for growth. It reminds you daily that your goals require effort, not someday, but right now. Accountability yourself builds integrity, and integrity becomes the foundation of confidence. When you keep track, you invite clarity into your life. Clarity reveals the difference between busy work and meaningful progress. You discover which activities push you closer to your dream and which simply fill time. This insight allows you to sharpen your focus, eliminating distractions that drain your energy without providing returns. Many people avoid tracking because they fear what the numbers or records might show.
It's natural to want to hide from shortcomings or failures, but courage means facing those uncomfortable truths head-on. Every setback or missed target is an opportunity to learn rather than a reason to quit. Tracking helps you transform failure into feedback. The courage to face reality also builds resilience. When you see evidence of your effort, no matter how small, you realize that change is happening. This acknowledgement fuels hope and persistence. Conversely, when progress stalls, the data empowers you to identify barriers instead of blaming circumstances or luck. Tracking progress also shifts your mindset from vague goals to concrete outcomes. Dreams and aspirations become tangible when you measure steps taken toward them. This tangibility makes your journey less abstract and more achievable. It turns goals from distant wishes into real objectives you can manage daily. A simple but effective way to track progress is to maintain a daily journal or log. Writing down your actions, feelings, challenges, and victories forces you to pause and reflect. This habit of reflection deepens your self-awareness and helps you notice subtle shifts in motivation or performance. It connects you to the process, not just the result. Technology can support your tracking efforts as well. Apps, spreadsheets, or digital calendars provide tools to organize data and visualize trends. Visual charts or progress bars can motivate by making achievements visible and celebrating milestones. However, the tool itself isn't what matters most. It's the consistent commitment to check and update your progress. When you track consistently, you also develop discipline. The routine of reporting your results becomes a daily reminder that your future depends on what you do today. It's a practice of honesty with yourself, which builds mental toughness and self-trust. Over time, this discipline becomes second nature and extends to other areas of life. Honesty is the cornerstone of this process. It requires you to be brutally truthful with yourself, without judgment or excuses. You might discover habits or patterns that hold you back: procrastination, avoidance, distraction, but naming them is the first step to overcoming them. Avoiding the truth only delays progress and prolongs frustration. Tracking progress is a way to celebrate wins as well. When you document your achievements, no matter how small, you create a record of success that can boost motivation. These victories are fuel that propels you forward on tougher days. Celebrating progress keeps your energy high and reminds you that your efforts matter. It's important to set clear criteria for what you will track. If your goal is to improve fitness, it might be the number of workouts, calories burned, or weight lifted. If it's financial, then income, savings, or expenses are relevant. By defining measurable indicators, you remove ambiguity and create objective standards. Facing the truth with courage through tracking also means adapting your strategies when needed. If something isn't working, the data shows it. Courageous adjustment is far better than stubbornly sticking to plans that yield no result. Flexibility combined with persistence is a winning combination. Tracking also reveals the pace of your progress. Sometimes we expect rapid changes and become discouraged by slow growth. Seeing the incremental steps helps you appreciate the process and stay patient. It reminds you that lasting transformation rarely happens overnight, but builds steadily with consistent effort. Sharing your progress with others can enhance accountability and provide external feedback, whether it's a mentor, coach, or supportive friend. Outside perspectives can reveal blind spots and encourage new approaches. However, the most critical accountability is the one you maintain with yourself. Another benefit of tracking is how it sharpens your decision-making. When you know where you stand, you can prioritize effectively and allocate your time and resources better. It stops guesswork and leads to smarter, goal-driven actions. Tracking progress teaches you to trust the process. There will be days when motivation wanes or results seem invisible. During those times, your record reminds you of how far you've come and encourages you to keep going. This trust reduces anxiety and builds confidence that persistence pays off. Ultimately, facing the truth with courage through tracking is about ownership. It's taking control of your journey by knowing exactly where you are and what you need to do. This ownership turns vague dreams into actionable plans and creates a clear path forward. The daily habit of tracking becomes a mirror reflecting your efforts back to you honestly. Looking into this mirror regularly strengthens your resolve and clarifies your purpose. It keeps you grounded and focused on the reality of your journey rather than distractions or wishful thinking. In this way, tracking progress is both a compass and a map. It points you in the right direction and charts the route ahead. Without it, you risk wandering aimlessly. With it, every step you take has meaning, and every day brings you closer to your goal. By confronting your progress honestly, you empower yourself to grow beyond limits and overcome challenges. This courage to face truth transforms you from a passive dreamer into an active creator of your future. The path to success is built one honest step at a time, and tracking your progress is the tool that ensures you never lose sight of the real path. Keep moving forward with eyes wide open and a heart ready to learn. Each moment you invest in tracking your progress is a moment spent building a stronger, wiser, and more determined version of yourself. The truth you find there is not something to fear but something to embrace, because it holds the key to your ultimate success.
Chapter 14. Push yourself harder when motivation starts to fade. There comes a moment in every pursuit when the fire inside begins to flicker. Motivation, that initial surge of excitement and energy, starts to wane. It's natural. The road isn't always smooth or inspiring. What separates those who achieve greatness from those who don't is what happens when motivation begins to fade. This is the moment when you push yourself harder, when you refuse to let the weakening flame extinguish your progress. When you first set out toward a goal, motivation feels abundant. It's easy to jump out of bed, eager to tackle the day. But as time passes, the novelty wears off, challenges appear, fatigue creeps in. The initial enthusiasm is replaced by resistance and doubt. This is where many give up, thinking motivation should always be present. The truth is, motivation is unreliable. It's a feeling, and feelings fluctuate. What you need instead is a commitment that runs deeper. Something that keeps you moving forward even when your heart isn't in it. Pushing yourself harder in these moments means relying on discipline over desire. Discipline is the muscle that carries you when motivation fades. It's the quiet force that says, I will do this because it matters, not because it feels good. Building this mental toughness requires practice and a mindset shift. It's about understanding that progress doesn't depend on how you feel, but on what you do consistently. The key to pushing through low motivation is to reconnect with your why. Reminding yourself why you started and what you hope to achieve can reignite purpose. Visualize the future you're working toward, the person you want to become. This vision becomes fuel, replacing fleeting motivation with lasting determination. Keep that image clear in your mind. Let it pull you forward when enthusiasm fades. Another way to push harder is to break your work into smaller, manageable steps. When motivation is low, the big picture can feel overwhelming or distant. Focusing on tiny, immediate actions creates momentum. Completing even the smallest task can spark a sense of accomplishment that builds energy for the next step. This chain reaction helps you keep moving when motivation says stop. It also helps to develop rituals that prepare you for those tough times. These routines act as triggers, conditioning your mind and body to switch into action mode regardless of feelings. Whether it's a morning workout, a specific playlist, or a moment of quiet reflection, these habits prime you to push beyond resistance. The more automatic these rituals become,
the less you need motivation to start. Recognize the power of persistence. Success is rarely the result of a single burst of effort. Instead, it's the product of repeated actions, day after day, especially when you don't feel like it. Pushing harder means showing up consistently, choosing to work even when every part of you wants to quit. This consistency builds resilience, proving to yourself that you can handle discomfort and uncertainty. Understanding that pain and discomfort are signs of growth can change your perspective. When you feel tired or frustrated, it's often because you're stretching beyond your current limits. Instead of retreating, lean into this discomfort. It's a signal that you're challenging yourself in meaningful ways. Pushing harder at these moments is what builds strength and capability. It's important to set clear, specific goals that you can measure. When motivation dips, having a defined target helps you stay on track. Ambiguity makes it easier to procrastinate or give up. But concrete goals create clarity and focus. They act like checkpoints, showing you how far you've come and what remains to be done. This clarity simplifies decisions and reduces mental fatigue. Sometimes, pushing harder means changing your environment. Surround yourself with reminders of your purpose, quotes, photos, or even people who inspire you. Creating a supportive space can reinforce your determination. Eliminate distractions and temptations that make it easier to surrender. By shaping your surroundings to support effort, you reduce reliance on willpower alone. Celebrate small victories along the way. Acknowledge every step forward, no matter how minor. This recognition releases positive feelings that counteract low motivation. When you see evidence of progress, it becomes easier to keep going. It builds a positive feedback loop that encourages persistence rather than defeat. Mindset plays a huge role. Choose to view setbacks and dips in motivation as normal parts of the journey, not as failures. This perspective keeps you from getting discouraged or giving up prematurely. When motivation fades, remind yourself that this is temporary and manageable. You are capable of pushing through because you have done it before and you will do it again. Accountability is another tool to push harder. Share your goals and progress with someone who will hold you responsible. Knowing that others are watching creates external pressure that can motivate you to act even when you don't feel like it internally. This doesn't mean relying on others to do the work, but using relationships as extra support on tough days. Physical health impacts motivation too. Fatigue, poor diet, and lack of sleep all sap energy and willpower. Taking care of your body creates a foundation that makes pushing harder possible. Exercise, nutritious food and rest are not luxuries, they are essentials that fuel your mental and emotional strength. Remember, pushing yourself harder doesn't mean ignoring limits or risking burnout. It means recognizing when your mind wants to quit, but your goals demand perseverance. It's a balance of toughness and wisdom. Sometimes pushing harder means taking a brief break to recharge so you can come back stronger and more focused. One powerful way to push harder is to create a personal challenge or deadline. Deadlines create urgency that can cut through procrastination and low motivation. Challenge yourself to complete a task by a specific time, turning effort into a game of commitment. This sense of urgency often sparks energy that motivation alone can't provide. Reflect on past successes where you pushed through difficulties. Remind yourself of moments when you overcame resistance and won. These memories build confidence and demonstrate your ability to endure. They serve as proof that you are stronger than temporary feelings of discouragement. At times, pushing harder means silencing the inner critic that questions your worth or ability. Self-doubt often flourishes when motivation is low. Instead of feeding that doubt, practice affirmations or focus on facts, what you have done, what you can do. Replace negative self-talk with constructive and empowering language. Finally, remember that every step forward, no matter how hard, brings you closer to your dreams. The path to success is not a straight line of enthusiasm and ease. It is filled with moments where motivation dips and determination must take over. Pushing yourself harder during these times is the secret that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. By choosing to act even when you don't want to, you build habits of strength, resilience, and unwavering commitment. These habits become the foundation of your success. So when motivation fades, don't wait for it to return. Push yourself hard. That decision will define the difference between those who reach their goals and those who watch from the sidelines. Keep moving, keep striving, keep pushing. Your future depends on it.
Chapter 15. Review your day nightly and learn from your actions. Every evening offers a unique chance to pause and reflect on what the day has truly been. It's not about judgment or self-criticism, but about honest evaluation, looking carefully at what happened, how you responded, and what lessons the day holds. Taking time each night to review your actions is one of the most powerful tools for personal growth. This simple habit creates clarity, sharpens your decision-making, and ultimately leads you closer to the life you want. When the day ends, most people move quickly on, eager to escape the stresses or distractions they faced. But in doing so, they lose out on the opportunity to learn and grow. Pausing to look back doesn't mean reliving mistakes over and over. It means stepping back to see patterns and choices with fresh eyes. It's a chance to identify what worked well and what didn't, so tomorrow can be better than today. This nightly review starts with honesty. You must be willing to face reality as it is, not as you wish it had been. It takes courage to admit when things didn't go according to plan or when you fell short of your own standards. But that honesty is the foundation for change. Without it, you risk repeating the same errors or losing sight of your goals. One of the first steps in this process is to ask clear questions. What did I accomplish? What distracted me? Where did I waste time? What moments brought me closer to my goals? What choices led me away from progress? These questions guide your mind toward understanding, rather than confusion or blame. Writing down your reflections can transform this habit from a vague notion into a concrete, actionable practice. Journaling your daily review captures insights that might otherwise slip away. When you record your thoughts, you create a history of your journey, one that reveals trends and breakthroughs. This record helps you avoid repeating mistakes and celebrates the small wins that build momentum. Reviewing your day each night also gives you control over your emotion. It's easy to carry frustration, regret, or stress from one day into the next, clouding your judgment and energy. But by processing these feelings intentionally before sleep, you clear your mind and prepare for a fresh start. This practice reduces anxiety and improves your overall well-being. Another key benefit of a nightly review is sharpening your focus. When you analyze your actions, you learn which activities truly impact your progress and which are distractions disguised as productivity. This clarity allows you to adjust your priorities, making smarter choices that move you forward more efficiently. You begin to see where your time leaks away, whether through unnecessary social media scrolling, unproductive meetings, or procrastination. Awareness of these habits is the first step toward eliminating them. It's not about perfection, but about steady improvement. Each day's review builds your skill in managing time and energy more effectively. This reflection also deepens your understanding of your motivations and challenges. You might discover fears or limiting beliefs that undermine your effort. You may notice patterns of self-sabotage or identify moments when you resisted temptation. These insights become powerful tools for personal transformation, helping you develop resilience and confidence. When you consistently review your day, you build a feedback loop that accelerates learning. Just like an athlete who watches game film to improve, you use your experiences as data points for growth. This loop makes your actions more intentional and aligned with your vision.
Over time, you become less reactive and more proactive in your decisions. Importantly, the nightly review encourages gratitude and recognition of progress. It's easy to focus only on what went wrong, but taking time to acknowledge what went right fuels motivation. Celebrating even small achievements reminds you that your effort matters and that success is built one step at a time. Incorporating this habit requires discipline. Life gets busy, and it's tempting to skip reflection when you're tired or distracted. But making this practice non-negotiable signals to yourself that your growth and success are priorities. The rewards far outweigh the effort. It's an investment that compounds daily. To make this process even more effective, create a simple structure to guide your review. Keep it brief but consistent. Spend just 10 or 15 minutes each night focusing on key questions. Over time, this routine will become natural and something you look forward to, a moment of calm and clarity in a hectic world. Sharing your reflections with a trusted friend, mentor, or coach can amplify the benefits. Talking about your day out loud helps you process emotions and gain perspective. It also creates accountability, encouraging you to follow through on insights and changes. Sometimes an outside voice can help you see solutions you might miss on your own. As you develop this nightly habit, you'll notice your self-awareness increasing. You begin to understand how your habits, mindset, and choices shape your reality. This awareness gives you the power to shift your path intentionally, steering yourself towards success rather than drifting aimlessly. Reviewing your day is not a one-time event, but a lifelong practice. Each evening, you have a fresh opportunity to learn, course correct, and grow stronger. This ongoing process builds wisdom and mastery over your life. It's the difference between living reactively and living deliberately. Through consistent reflection, your goals become clearer, your actions more purposeful, and your progress more visible. You'll stop wondering why you struggle and start understanding what you can do differently. This clarity reduces frustration and increases confidence, fueling further effort. Your future self will thank you for the discipline to look back every night. This practice shapes character, sharpens focus, and builds momentum. It transforms ordinary days into a series of deliberate steps toward your dreams. No success is possible without learning from experience, and reviewing your day nightly is the most effective way to do just that. When you develop this habit, you no longer rely on motivation or luck. You build a foundation of consistent growth. You become the person who doesn't just wish for success, but actively creates it, one reflective moment at a time. The power of this nightly review is immense, simple and available to anyone willing to embrace it fully. Make it a ritual, make it sacred. Let the close of each day be your moment of truth, learning, and preparation for the next great effort. This is how ordinary people achieve extraordinary lives.
Chapter 16. Keep showing up even when you do not feel like it. There will be days when every part of you wants to quit. When the weight of the task feels unbearable and your energy is spent. When the voice inside whispers that maybe it's okay to take a break, to delay, to stop trying just this once. Those moments test the core of who you are, the strength of your commitment, and your ability to keep moving forward regardless of how you feel. The truth is, success doesn't wait for perfect feelings or ideal circumstances. It demands that you show up even when you don't want to. Feeling tired, discouraged, or uninspired is part of the journey. Nobody escapes these moments. They are normal. What separates those who achieve their dreams from those who give up is the refusal to let feelings dictate their actions. It's about understanding that motivation is temporary and unreliable, but discipline, the habit of showing up, is steady and dependable. The act of simply starting, regardless of mood, creates a momentum that carries you through the rough patches. When you push yourself to show up during these low moments, you are training your mind and body to resist excuses.
You are proving that your goals matter more than temporary discomfort or fleeting doubts. Every time you conquer that resistance, you strengthen your inner resolve. You create a muscle of perseverance that grows stronger with each challenge faced and overcome. It's important to remember that feelings come and go. They are like waves, rising and falling. You don't have to wait for a wave of enthusiasm to carry you forward. Instead, you anchor yourself firmly in your purpose and let your actions ride out the ups and downs. This consistency day after day is what builds real progress. Showing up doesn't mean you must perform perfectly every time. It means committing to the process, no matter how small the step. Some days, your best might be simply putting in a few minutes or completing one small task. Other days, you may achieve breakthroughs or big wins. The key is that you keep moving, never allowing yourself to fall into the trap of inaction just because you don't feel motivated. The hardest part is often starting. When resistance is strong, taking the first step breaks the power of procrastination. Once you begin, momentum builds, and the work feels less heavy. That initial action is a signal to your brain that progress matters more than comfort, and it paves the way for continued effort. There's also a deep connection between showing up and trust. Trust in yourself. Every time you honor your commitment, even in the face of discomfort, you reinforce your belief that you can depend on yourself. This trust creates a foundation for confidence and self-respect that fuels your long-term journey. Expect setbacks. There will be days when fatigue or frustration makes you want to quit completely. That's when showing up becomes an act of courage. It's not about being fearless, but about acting despite fear or doubt. Showing up means deciding your goals are bigger than your excuses. Many people wait for the right moment or the perfect feeling to get started or keep going. Waiting is the enemy of progress. Life will always present distractions, tiredness, or uncertainty. The only way forward is through consistent action, even if the energy isn't there. This persistence is how you build momentum and eventually cross thresholds that once seemed impossible. Consistency is a silent force that compounds over time. It's easy to underestimate the power of small daily efforts, especially when motivation wanes. But those small steps add up. When you keep showing up, you keep adding fuel to your fire, building momentum that propels you forward even on the toughest days. Understanding why you began your journey is a powerful tool when motivation fades. Remind yourself of the reasons behind your goals, the freedom, growth, or impact you want to create. Connecting with your purpose rekindles the determination to show up when feelings fail. Purpose is the compass that guides you through storms of doubt and fatigue. It also helps to create a system that supports your consistency. Structure your day with routines that make showing up easier. Set clear intentions for what you want to accomplish, break tasks into manageable pieces, and prepare your environment to minimize distraction. These strategies reduce the friction that often leads to quitting. Sometimes the struggle to keep showing up is mental. Negative self-talk or doubt can become obstacles. Cultivating a mindset of kindness toward yourself helps you push through difficult days without harsh judgment. Acknowledge the struggle, but refuse to let it stop you. Be your own biggest supporter. Accountability is another powerful ally. Share your goals with someone who will check in on your progress or encourage you during tough times. Knowing someone else is watching or rooting for you can make it easier to stay committed, especially when your own motivation dips. Remember, showing up is about building habits, not about bursts of inspiration. Habits form the backbone of success because they function independently of mood. When showing up becomes routine, it requires less mental energy and becomes part of who you are. This transformation is the ultimate form of resilience. There will be days when the results seem invisible or slow. Progress is rarely immediate. The discipline to keep showing up through those invisible phases separates those who eventually win from those who quit too soon. Trust the process, even when it feels frustrating. Every effort, no matter how small, moves you closer to your goal. The moments when you most want to quit are often the moments right before a breakthrough. By persisting through discomfort, you allow growth and success to emerge. Keep reminding yourself that discomfort is temporary, but the rewards of consistency last a lifetime. Showing up when you don't feel like it also builds character. It shapes your identity as someone who is dependable, committed, and relentless. This identity fuels confidence, making future challenges easier to face. The habit of presence in the face of resistance becomes your superpower. Each time you overcome the urge to give up, you rewire your brain for success. You prove that you control your actions, not your feelings. This shift in mindset creates freedom and power because it breaks the cycle of emotional dependency that traps so many people in procrastination and self-doubt. It's normal to feel drained sometimes, but rest is different from quitting. Rest is intentional and restorative. Quitting is avoidance and surrender. Learn to recognize the difference. Taking breaks to recharge is part of maintaining the stamina to keep showing up over the long haul. Finally, keep your vision in front of you every day. Visual reminders, written affirmations, or simply reflecting on your why can sustain your drive. When you see your purpose clearly, it becomes easier to push through the tough moments and stay consistent. Showing up even when you don't want to is the foundation of every success story. It's the unseen effort behind achievements, the quiet battle waged when nobody's watching. It's the daily decision to keep going, to trust yourself, and to believe that every step forward counts. No matter how you feel, your commitment must be louder. Show up, do the work, keep moving. In time, this unwavering dedication transforms your dreams into reality.
Chapter 17. Fuel your mind with wisdom every single morning. There's something powerful about starting your day by feeding your mind with wisdom. When you wake up and choose to absorb ideas that uplift, educate, and challenge you, you set a tone for the hours ahead. It's not just about knowledge for the sake of information, but about nurturing a mindset that's focused, resilient, and ready to face the day's challenges. This morning ritual becomes a foundation, a steady fuel that keeps you sharp, motivated, and aligned with your goals. The morning is a unique window. Your mind is fresh, less cluttered by the noise and distractions that come later. What you allow in during these early moments has an outsized impact on your mood, your decisions, and your energy. Filling that space with wisdom, through reading, listening, or thoughtful reflection, creates a ripple effect. It shifts your perspective, opens your awareness, and prepares you to handle difficulties with calm and clarity. Wisdom is not just about fancy quotes or complicated theories. It's practical insight that connects with your real life. It teaches you how to think better, how to manage your emotions, how to make wiser choices. This kind of fuel doesn't just fill your brain, it feeds your spirit. It reminds you why your goals matter, what qualities you need to develop, and how to respond when things don't go your way. By making this a daily habit, you build a strong mental muscle. Your mind becomes trained to seek growth instead of comfort. You start each day with an intentional mindset rather than reactive emotions. This subtle shift empowers you to control your thoughts instead of letting your environment control them. When challenges arise, you don't panic or lose focus easily. Instead, you draw on the wisdom you've absorbed, making better decisions and moving forward with confidence. Many people drift through mornings without a plan for their mind's nutrition. They scroll aimlessly or get caught in the stress of the day's demands before even starting. This passive approach leaves them vulnerable to negativity, distractions, and self-doubt,
Feeding your mind with wisdom first thing acts like a shield. It helps you filter out what doesn't serve your progress and keeps you anchored in what matters. It's important to be selective with what you consume. The quality of your mental fuel determines the quality of your day. Choose sources that challenge your thinking, inspire action, and align with your values. Avoid content that stokes fear, spreads negativity, or wastes your precious mental energy. This isn't about drowning yourself in information, but about carefully choosing insights that empower you. Over time, this daily intake of wisdom shapes your identity. You begin to see yourself as a learner, a thinker, someone who grows continuously. This mindset makes obstacles easier to face because you understand they are part of the journey, not a dead end. Wisdom helps you recognize patterns, learn from mistakes, and stay humble even in success. You might wonder how to incorporate this habit when mornings feel rushed or overwhelming. Start small. Even 5 to 10 minutes of focused reading or listening can make a difference. It could be a passage from a book, a motivational speech, or a thoughtful podcast. The key is consistency. Daily repetition turns this action into a habit that becomes automatic and natural. Another powerful way to fuel your mind is through journaling or reflection. After absorbing wisdom, take a moment to write down what resonates or what you want to apply today. This deepens understanding and translates insight into action. Reflection also clarifies your priorities and helps you set a focused intention for the day. Your environment plays a role too. Create a morning space that invites calm and concentration. It could be a quiet corner, a comfortable chair, or simply a clean desk. The atmosphere influences how well you can absorb and process what you're feeding your mind. Minimizing distractions during this time is crucial. It's also helpful to remind yourself of the long-term impact. The wisdom you gather today doesn't just help in the moment. It compounds over weeks, months, and years. Small daily investments in your mental growth create profound shifts in your capabilities, your resilience, and your outlook on life. This cumulative effect transforms ordinary days into a steady climb toward your dreams. Sometimes mornings may be tough. You might feel tired, unmotivated, or distracted. Even then, showing up to feed your mind is a powerful act of self-respect. It signals to yourself that your growth is non-negotiable, that you are willing to prioritize your inner world, no matter the external circumstances. Wisdom from others can also serve as a reminder that you're not alone. Learning from people who have faced challenges, made mistakes, and still succeeded connects you to a broader human experience. It encourages humility and gratitude, showing that progress is a continuous process. When your mind is well nourished, you're less likely to fall into patterns of negative thinking or impulsive reactions. You gain clarity on what deserves your attention and what should be let go. This helps you focus your energy on productive actions rather than getting stuck in worry or indecision. Many successful people credit their morning routine of consuming wisdom as a key factor in their achievement. It's the fuel that sharpens their vision and keeps them mentally prepared for the day's demands. You can adopt the same principle, adapting it to what works best for you. This practice isn't about perfection or pressure. It's about showing up for yourself every day, committing to growth with simple, deliberate steps. Some days the wisdom will resonate deeply. Other days it may feel like just background noise. The difference is consistency. Over time the benefits multiply. You may notice your conversations change too. When your mind is filled with thoughtful ideas, you speak with more confidence and insight. Your words influence others positively, and you attract people who value growth. This creates a feedback loop that further elevates your mindset. The morning is also a moment to set your emotional tone. Wisdom helps you manage stress and approach problems with calmness. Instead of reacting out of fear or frustration, you learn to respond with clarity and purpose. This emotional mastery becomes a powerful tool throughout your day. Remember that feeding your mind doesn't have to be solitary. You can share your insights with friends, mentors, or communities who support your growth. Discussions deepen your understanding and expose you to new perspectives. Surrounding yourself with people who value wisdom keeps you accountable to this habit. As you build this daily practice, you'll find your perspective on challenges evolving. What once seemed daunting becomes a learning opportunity. Failures turn into lessons rather than reasons to quit. Your mindset shifts from fixed to growth-oriented, fueling ongoing progress. In the end, the wisdom you gather each morning equips you to handle life's unpredictability with grace. It strengthens your mental foundation so that when setbacks come, and they will, you have the tools to recover quickly and keep going. Starting your day with this intentional act of mental nourishment is one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself. It's a simple choice with profound consequences. By committing to fuel your mind every morning, you build a lifetime of strength, clarity, and progress. This daily habit sets you apart and keeps your dreams within reach, one thoughtful morning at a time.
Chapter 18. Move your body daily to build mental strength too. The connection between your body and mind is undeniable. When you move your body every day, you're not just improving your physical health, you're strengthening your mental resilience too. Exercise doesn't just burn calories or build muscle, it rewires your brain to handle stress better, think more clearly, and maintain emotional balance. Movement becomes a crucial part of building mental toughness, preparing you to face challenges with greater focus and endurance. Many people think of exercise purely as a way to look better or stay physically fit. While those are important benefits, the impact on mental strength is just as vital. When you engage in physical activity, your brain releases chemicals that boost mood, reduce anxiety, and sharpen your cognitive abilities. This natural boost helps you recover from setbacks faster and stay motivated even when obstacles appear. The discipline of moving your body regularly trains your mind to push through discomfort. Every step, every lift, every stretch requires persistence and focus. This daily practice creates a feedback loop. As your body grows stronger, so does your mental fortitude. You learn to overcome excuses, resist the urge to quit, and develop a habit of showing up for yourself no matter how you feel. Incorporating movement into your routine isn't about pushing yourself to extreme. It's about consistent action that honors your current level and pushes you just enough to grow. Even a simple walk can clear your head, reduce stress hormones, and open space for creative thinking. This consistent commitment to physical movement translates into mental stamina that fuels your goal. When your body feels sluggish or tight, your mind tends to mirror that state. Physical inactivity often leads to mental fog, low energy, and a lack of enthusiasm. Movement reverses this cycle. It increases blood flow to your brain, delivering oxygen and nutrients essential for cognitive function. As a result, decision-making improves, and your ability to stay calm under pressure strengthens. Physical challenges, whether it's running a few extra miles, mastering a yoga pose, or holding a plank, teach you valuable lessons about patience and perseverance. These lessons don't stay confined to your workout, they seep into every aspect of life. You begin to see difficulties as opportunities to grow rather than obstacles to avoid. Movement also offers a break from mental clutter. When your thoughts spiral or stress mounts, physical activity provides an outlet. Your focus shifts from worry to action, creating mental clarity. This mental reset makes it easier to tackle problems with fresh eyes and renewed energy. Many successful individuals credit their mental toughness to a consistent habit of physical movement. They recognize that building mental strength isn't just about mindset, it requires a healthy, active body to support it.
The interplay between mind and body creates a foundation for resilience, focus, and emotional stability. You don't need fancy equipment or a gym membership to benefit. Simple, deliberate movements like stretching, bodyweight exercises, or a brisk walk can trigger powerful mental benefit. What matters most is making movement a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. As you build this habit, you'll notice an increase in your self-discipline. Showing up for daily movement, even when motivation is low, reinforces your ability to commit to other challenging tasks. This consistency spills over into your work, relationships, and personal development. The act of moving your body also teaches you to listen to it more closely. You become more aware of your limits and needs, which cultivates a balanced approach to growth. This mindfulness prevents burnout and injury, allowing you to sustain your efforts over time without sacrificing well-being. Physical activity enhances your ability to handle stress by regulating the nervous system. Movement helps lower cortisol levels and boosts neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which promote feelings of happiness and calm. This biological response supports mental strength by reducing anxiety and improving emotional regulation. Incorporating movement into your day builds confidence. Every time you push through discomfort and complete a workout or activity, you reinforce the belief that you can overcome challenges. This growing confidence spills over into your mindset, encouraging you to take bold steps toward your goal. Movement is also a form of active meditation. Focusing on your breath, body, and rhythm during exercise grounds you in the present moment. This presence strengthens mental clarity and reduces the impact of negative thoughts. Over time, this mindfulness practice enhances your overall mental resilience. If you struggle to maintain consistent movement, try starting with small, achievable goals. The key is to build momentum gradually. As you experience the mental and physical benefits, motivation naturally grows, creating a positive cycle of improvement. Sharing your movement journey with others can also boost your commitment, whether through group classes, workout partners, or online communities. Connecting with like-minded individuals creates accountability and support. This social aspect adds joy and motivation to the habit. Movement challenges you to embrace discomfort in a controlled way. This practice of facing physical strain mirrors the mental discipline required to push beyond fear, doubt, or laziness in other areas of life. You develop a mindset that welcomes effort and sees discomfort as a sign of progress. As mental strength grows, you'll find it easier to maintain focus during demanding tasks. The endurance built through physical movement supports sustained attention, reduces mental fatigue, and improves your ability to think creatively under pressure. Exercise can also improve your sleep quality, which is crucial for mental health. A well-rested mind is sharper, more emotionally stable, and better equipped to handle stress. Movement helps regulate your sleep patterns, ensuring you wake up ready to tackle the day. The benefits of moving your body extend beyond individual workouts. This habit creates a lifestyle of energy and vitality that supports all your pursuits. It helps prevent burnout by balancing mental exertion with physical renewal. Your mindset shifts from seeing movement as a chore to recognizing it as essential self-care. This shift deepens your commitment and transforms exercise into a joyful, empowering routine rather than a task to endure. Physical activity also improves your ability to adapt to change. The resilience developed through regular movement enhances your capacity to bounce back from setbacks, adjust plans, and maintain motivation during uncertainty. Movement encourages a holistic view of success. You realize that mental strength and physical health are intertwined, and true progress requires nurturing both. This understanding leads to more sustainable, fulfilling growth. In moments when motivation wanes, remind yourself that moving your body is a powerful act of self-respect and commitment. Even on difficult days, the simple choice to engage in physical activity reinforces your identity as someone who takes control of their life. Ultimately, building mental strength through movement equips you to face life's ups and downs with grace and determination. It cultivates a balanced, resilient mindset that supports your highest aspiration. Every step, stretch, or repetition contributes not just to your physical fitness, but to a mindset prepared to persevere. By moving your body daily, you're investing in a stronger, clearer, and more focused mind that carries you closer to your dream.
Chapter 19. Say no to anything that slows down your growth. Growth demands clarity. It requires a focused mind and purposeful action. But one of the most powerful tools you have on your journey is the ability to say no. Saying no is not about shutting down opportunities or being negative. It's about protecting your path, your energy, and your future. Every time you say no to what drags you down, you open space for what propels you forward. Life is full of distractions, temptations, and obligations that can chip away at your progress. They might look harmless or even enjoyable, but when they pull you away from your goals, they become barriers. These slow you down, drain your energy, and clutter your mind. To grow, you must learn to recognize what hinders you and have the courage to refuse it outright. This process starts with awareness. You have to become honest with yourself about what activities, habits, and even relationships aren't serving your growth. It's not always easy to admit that some things you enjoy or tolerate are actually obstacles, but this clarity is essential. Without it, you risk wandering aimlessly, wasting time and energy on things that don't contribute to your progress. Saying no also means setting boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that protect your time, your focus, and your mental space. They allow you to control what you allow into your life. Without boundaries, you become vulnerable to demands and distractions that pull you away from your vision. Learning to say no is how you enforce those boundaries with confidence. People often hesitate to say no because they fear conflict or disappointing others. But remember, saying yes to everything often means saying no to yourself. When you constantly prioritize other people's demands or less important things, you sacrifice your growth. The respect you show yourself by protecting your time ultimately benefits everyone, because you become stronger, more capable, and more present. When you say no to what slows you down, you reclaim your power. You take control of your narrative and actively choose what deserves your attention. This conscious choice builds momentum, turning small actions into lasting habits that push you forward every day. Each no becomes a yes to something more valuable. This approach applies not just to big decisions, but to everyday moments. It could be as simple as declining an invitation that distracts you from your work, or choosing not to engage in negative conversations that drain your spirit. These small acts of saying no add up, creating a disciplined mindset that guards your growth fiercely. At times, saying no feels uncomfortable because it challenges your old patterns. You might worry about missing out or feeling isolated. But true growth often requires discomfort. By saying no to what slows you down, you make room for deeper focus, better energy, and greater results. You align your actions with your priorities, creating a powerful sense of purpose. You'll find that when you say no more often, your yeses become more meaningful. They carry weight because they are chosen intentionally, not out of habit or pressure. This selective focus sharpens your efforts and amplifies your impact. You're no longer spreading yourself thin. Instead, you're investing deeply where it counts. Saying no also protects your mental and emotional health. Overcommitment leads to stress, burnout, and frustration. By refusing tasks and demands that don't serve your vision, you preserve your peace of mind. This stability helps you approach your goals with clarity and resilience. It's important to remember that saying no is a skill that grows with practice. At first, it may feel awkward or even selfish,
but over time it becomes a natural part of your decision-making process. You'll start to see how this discipline brings freedom from distractions, wasted energy and unclear priorities. When challenges arise and pressure mounts to say yes to things that slow you down, remind yourself of your bigger picture. What you're building deserves your full commitment. Every no you give is a brick in the foundation of your future success. Protecting your time and energy is not just about saying no to the wrong things, it's about saying yes to your dreams. This mindset also applies to your inner dialogue. Negative thoughts, doubts, and limiting beliefs slow down growth just as much as external distractions. Learning to say no to these mental barriers is crucial. Challenge the stories that hold you back and refuse to entertain them. Replace doubt with conviction and fear with courage. Your environment plays a huge role as well. Say no to surroundings that don't inspire or uplift you. This might mean limiting time with people who drain your energy or removing clutter that distracts your focus. Creating a supportive space allows your growth to flourish unhindered. On the flip side, saying no frees up your resources, time, energy and attention that you can then pour into what truly matters. It helps you build habits that align with your goals, deepen your skills and nurture your well-being. This clarity creates a positive feedback loop where progress fuels motivation, making it easier to keep saying no to distractions. Imagine your day as a garden. Every yes is a seed you plant. If you fill your garden with weeds, unnecessary tasks, toxic relationships, unproductive habits, those weeds choke out the plants you want to grow. Saying no is like pulling those weeds before they take over. It protects the life you're cultivating. There's also freedom in saying no because it removes the pressure to juggle everything. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you gain control over your schedule. This control reduces anxiety and helps you stay grounded in what's important. You learn to prioritize wisely and act deliberately. Sometimes, saying no means being patient. Growth doesn't happen overnight and not every opportunity is right for you now. Declining certain offers or invitations can be an act of wisdom, preserving your focus for the right moments and the right challenges. The process of deciding when to say no requires self-trust. You have to believe that you know what's best for your growth and that turning down distractions won't close doors permanently. It will open others. This confidence builds as you see the positive results of your choices. In the end, saying no is an expression of respect for your vision and yourself. It honors your commitment to progress, no matter how tempting it may be to say yes out of obligation or fear of missing out. You're choosing growth over comfort, purpose over distraction. As you practice this discipline, you'll notice a shift. Your energy will align with your ambitions. Your time will be spent in ways that truly matter. Your mind will stay clear and focused. And most importantly, you'll feel empowered by the choices you make daily. Protecting your growth is an ongoing journey. It requires vigilance and intentionality. But the more you say no to what slows you down, the faster you'll move toward your dream. This simple act, this powerful refusal can be the difference between settling for less and creating the life you truly want. So start today. Look at your life honestly. Identify what drains you, distracts you, and holds you back. Give yourself permission to say no to those things without guilt or apology. You deserve a life built on purpose, passion, and progress. Saying no is the key that unlocks that door.
Chapter 20. Live today like your future depends on your actions. Every single day is an opportunity, a chance to move closer to the life you want. It's easy to think of today as just another day, something ordinary and replaceable. But the truth is, what you do right now shapes everything that comes after. Your future is built on the choices you make today. That's why living each moment like your future depends on it is not just advice. It's a necessity. Imagine for a moment that the life you want is waiting for you on the other side of today's actions. The hard work, the small steps,
the decisions to keep pushing forward, they all add up. If you treat today casually, if you postpone effort or let distractions take over, you're not just wasting a day, you're delaying the future you deserve. When you realize this, everything changes. You start to see the weight of your present moment, the way you spend your time, how you manage your energy, and what you choose to focus on. These are not small things. They are the foundation of your success. Living today like your future depends on it. It means being fully aware of this connection. This mindset requires intention. It means waking up each morning with a clear purpose, a plan that honors where you want to go. It's about refusing to drift through the day, letting life happen to you. Instead, you take control and decide what matters most, then commit fully to that. This doesn't mean you have to do everything perfectly or accomplish massive tasks every single day. Progress is often made through consistent, focused actions that might seem small on their own. But when you commit to those small actions with seriousness, you build momentum that leads to breakthrough. Living this way also means embracing responsibility. You can't blame circumstances or wait for the perfect moment. The power lies in your hands, and it's your job to use it. Every choice you make today echoes in your future. You shape your destiny by how you act now. It takes courage to live this way. It's easier to procrastinate or avoid discomfort, but growth demands stepping into that discomfort and pushing past resistance. You don't need to be fearless, but you must be brave enough to act anyway. The urgency of this mindset fuels focus. When you know that your future depends on today, distractions lose their appeal. You become more selective with your time and energy. Social media scrolling, endless entertainment, meaningless chatter, these things lose their grip. You start protecting your day fiercely. This approach also changes how you handle setbacks. When a mistake happens or progress stalls, you don't give up. Instead, you remember that every day is a new chance to make a different choice. The future isn't fixed, it's shaped by what you do next. Living today like your future depends on it. It means valuing time as your most precious asset. Time once lost cannot be regained. Every minute wasted is an opportunity lost to grow, learn, and advance. When you treat time with respect, you maximize your potential. Your mindset shifts from passivity to action. You stop waiting for things to happen and start making things happen. This shift creates energy, excitement, and confidence. You become someone who doesn't just dream, but moves boldly toward those dreams. This way of living also helps you clarify your priorities. It forces you to ask yourself what truly matters. What activities bring you closer to your goals? What habits support your vision? What relationships encourage your growth? With your future in mind, you make choices aligned with your highest purpose. The power of this daily approach is cumulative. One day of effort may not seem like much, but a week, a month, a year of living intentionally adds up to remarkable change. Your future self will thank you for the discipline and commitment you show today. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Some days will be easier than others. Some will challenge you, but showing up, doing the work, and staying committed makes all the difference. That's how you build the life you imagine. This mindset also encourages reflection. At the end of each day, look back honestly at what you accomplished and where you can improve. Learning from your actions sharpens your approach for the next day, helping you live more fully in the present with your future in focus. Every action becomes meaningful when you connect it to your future vision. Even simple tasks like organizing your space, reading a few pages of a book, or choosing healthy food take on new significance. They become stepping stones rather than distractions. Living today like your future depends on it requires discipline, but it also invites joy. There's satisfaction in knowing that your time is well spent. You build confidence because you're making progress, even if slow. You develop resilience because you keep moving forward despite obstacles. This mindset isn't about rushing or forcing things. It's about respect for your goals, your time and yourself. When you act with this respect, you live with intention and purpose that attracts opportunities and support. It also means being mindful of your energy. Taking care of your body and mind fuels your ability to act consistent. Rest, nutrition, and movement become priorities because they empower you to live your days fully. Sometimes, living with this urgency requires tough choices. Saying no to tempting distractions, unhealthy habits, or negative influences may be uncomfortable but necessary. Protecting your future demands these sacrifices, and the payoff is worth it. Remember, your future is not something far off and abstract. It's a direct result of today's choices. The person you become, the life you lead, the success you achieve all begin with the actions you take right now. This truth is freeing because it puts you in control. No matter where you start, you have the power to change your trajectory. Every morning is a fresh opportunity to live in alignment with your dreams. The question isn't whether you can afford to live this way. The question is whether you can afford not to. Ignoring the connection between today and tomorrow delays your potential and dims your hope. Embracing this mindset is a commitment to yourself and your vision. It's a promise to treat every day as a precious gift, filled with possibility and responsibility. It turns ordinary moments into powerful opportunities, so live your life with awareness and urgency. Take deliberate steps that move you closer to what you want. Face challenges head-on and learn from every experience. Celebrate your progress and recommit daily. By living today like your future depends on it, you transform the way you see time, effort, and success. You become a person who doesn't wait for life to happen, but who creates life with every breath, every decision, every action. This is how dreams become reality, not through wishful thinking or luck, but through consistent, intentional living. The future you want is shaped by what you do now. So take charge, stay focused, and keep moving forward. Your future is counting on you.